come together. Eighth has never beaten first in an AFL final series, so there's one more threshold to crack here, Gary Lyons.
Yes, and it kind of appeals to Sam Mitchell that he's mentioned it more than once about the fact that, okay, if it hasn't been done, Jason, may we be the first. They've got to get through today. The Adelaide Crows conceded those first 5 goals against Hawthorn back in round 21, and it was on Matthew Nix's mind when he joined us in the pre-game.
Well, records are made to be broken, aren't they? They're just numbers, and that's the challenge for the Hawks tonight. Can they produce their best? They'll be confident after last week, but they're coming up against a team that finished top of the table for a reason.
There's certainly eagerness around tonight to get it underway, and even the formalities look like they're going to run a little early.
I think they've got into position way too early, Jared. So
just get to it.
Have a little bit of a stare with each other.
The old patterns are of no comfort around qualifying final losers, as for so long they would always rebound. But 5 of the past 8 teams in this position have fallen in straight sets. So the Crows are trying to avoid that. And as Jason recounted earlier, there hasn't been a team finish on top since 1983 to go out in consecutive finals. It was a totally different system then. There'd be a certain indignity to it if it happened tonight.
Yes, indeed. And they've had a minute to stare each other down here. They've been in position that early.
Just throw to them, yes.
Too far away now to get things underway, Jared.
Yes, as the Crows got their first taste of this last week. Yes, how will they absorb the energy in the stadium tonight and bring it to the opening siren?
And Premier Partner Toyota welcomes you to the 2025 Toyota AFL Final Series. Tonight, it's the first semi-final between the Adelaide Crows and Hawthorn. The AFL acknowledges the Kaurna people as the traditional owners of the land we gather on tonight, and we pay our respects to elders past and present. We acknowledge we play our great game on this land and respect the cultures of all First Peoples, their contribution to our nation and contribution to the great game of Australian rules football. To conduct an official welcome to country, please welcome proud Kaurna and Narungga man, Jack Buckskin.
Yankana mena na marni morangadlo wangandi mani na boarding arlu kuyatana. Kumada yachi mene yalakanga wangandi mani na boarding arlu kuyatana wever pindi mene yachi yatar tekandi mani na boarding arlu kuyatan. Nena koda nanko nena kadala nanko mani na boarding garni yatana. Yachi atangarlu tanda ganya takandi yachi atar tikama ngarlu kubukyana mena mukabanga. Firstly, welcome everybody to what we call the land of the red kangaroo dreaming place, Tarndanyanga, the home of the Kaurna people. We welcome and pay respects to the Indigenous and Aboriginal mob that are gathering here tonight with us, and all the people that have travelled from afar outside of our country to visit these lands to watch this amazing game. Welcome. We ask that as we gather in this space to acknowledge all the spiritual ancestors as we gather in here. They come with us inside, each of us as individuals. They surround us in every animal, plant and creature, and their ancient ancestors still live within these lands. And today we get to celebrate here together. Welcome to country.
Thank you, Jack. If you are able, can you please stand, remove your hats, and join the coaches, players and umpires for the Australian National Anthem to be performed by Chloe Bremner.
Gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strength, then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
I reckon they're out for it now. The local fans with a great contingent of travelling Hawks. A good many will have been here 12 years ago, or 12 months ago. There's scarring on both sides of it. There's opportunity, there's determination, and there's a driving ambition to go through tonight and to be more than just that as well.
Believe, Jared, believe. If you're an Adelaide Crows fan, you've got to believe. They're going to start well. They've got to give themselves a moment in this game where they sit back and feel good about themselves. That man there, Josh Whittle, outstanding last week after a long absence. His ability to come back into this side, he played on a wing, he played back, he played forward in the dying moments. He's a handful, Jason.
He is, but you can see him run out of gas a little bit. He was a bit underdone, and they probably played him more than they needed to play him. So he'll be better for the run, and if he can go up another level, that's a bonus for the Hawks.
This is the man who has to set the scene here. It was unlike him. It was unthought like last week. Throw himself at the first ball he goes to. Take a pack down, take numbers with him, and see if he can't emerge from this as a finals player. Watson, dangerous. They're just full of dangerous. Ginnivan, dangerous. More dangerous. They've got players everywhere, Jason, and they're going to be a handful of the Hawks. They're the testing material, there's no question about it.
Their territory play a big part tonight. Which of these midfields can get on top? Probably the weakest area for both teams in terms of depth and the quality of absolute top liners. So it's going to be a massive challenge in the middle of the ground.
I didn't see Jordan Dawson as we wait across the comment here. It was an un-Jordan Dawson-like performance. He's probably the Brownlow medal favourite, the All-Australian vice-captain. His year's been absolutely superb, yet he was almost impotent last week against that Collingwood team.
Very serious look on his face there after the toss, Garrett.
Well, this is what happens. This is why tonight becomes such a great night. If you're a footy lover, if you're invested in Hawthorn and Adelaide, it just becomes 2 hours of just heartache. But if you're not, just let's see what these blokes are made of. I think Hawthorn have established themselves. They've got good finals record. They've won, last year and this year. What we want to see is what are they made of, Adelaide? Can they handle what comes in September?
I reckon early doors in this game, guys, you'll see a few Adelaide players make a statement. I think their approach at the footy, at the contest, will be uncompromising to the point of almost detrimental to their own health.
I'd hope so, and I want to see it in the air as well as on the ground, because they gave up 28 intercept marks, and it's going to be a number we're going to watch really closely. 28 intercept marks is handing over advantage to an opposition team as if to say, here, you have it, we don't want it. And there's no question in my mind Adelaide panicked with the ball in hand last week.
Crows almost in position, the Hawks almost making them wait there. Different ground. There's Riley Philthorpe striding out towards the hill goal square. The Hawks cheer squad there to greet him.
Barris is going to him, so he was superb last week as well. The Hawthorn defence were absolutely magnificent. Mark Keane's going to get Jack Gunston, who's been in absolutely outstanding form. I'm looking for Jack Ginnivan. I'm just going to wait for a blue, and I reckon he won't be far away.
Here we go. The road to the MCG in a preliminary final. The Crows to rise from the wreckage of last week. Or is it the Hawks to go where they couldn't last year?
Oh, now they've found their voice.
Have a listen to the Adelaide Oval crowd as we settle into it. Meet the tap against O'Brien. There's a whistle already. And it's a Hawthorn-friendly whistle that goes to John Newcomb, the star of last week, already proving his finals bona fides in his 3 attempts. Sends it forward. O'Brien tries to fill a hole. Joel wasn't far off. Meek gets the handball off. Guess who? Guess who? Jack Gunston. It took 21 seconds for the 33-year-old. And the Hawks strike first.
I said, Jason, this is what Adelaide are acutely aware of. They put 5 on their nose back in round 21 before they drew breath, and they kick a goal from the very first centre-bounce clearance.
Keep your eye on Mark Keane. You'll see him. He just goes the sweeper. He allows Gunston to go up to the stoppage, and he's trying to sweep, be that last line of defence. But it's too close to the action. You're not in a position to stop that kick. Had to come up with him. Perfect start for the Hawks.
He kicked the first goal in round 21 as well.
So Newcomb just picks up where he left off last week, getting clearances in the middle of the ground. And that's a strange matchup, the Keane Gunston one. He gave 3 kicks away late in that game in round 21 against Jack Gunston as well.
40 finals goals for Jack Gunston. 547 in his career. Just what the Crows didn't want to give up earlier. Newcomb's on the job again. He'll bump this inside 50. Michael Annie first access, overwhelmed by Moore. Miller coughed it up. Watson the banger a second. The Hawks are on the tear. You can't draw that up.
Hey, we spoke about territory. First two clearances, Gaz. Get it in quick and look what can happen.
Giant Newcomb. 2 clearance, 2 centre bounces, 2 centre bounce clearances, 2 goal assists. Picking up where he left off after last week. This is a dream start for Hawthorn. This is asking the question and putting a doubt into a team who didn't handle their first week of finals. You reckon the first week was bad? Well, put 2 on your nose from the first 2 centre bounce entries.
And how often have we seen that chaos ball, that quick ground ball kick in the forward 50, resulting in a score because it's so hard to defend against?
Look at the reaction here, this Hawthorn group. So Berry's the one that went shoulder to shoulder with Newcomb twice. He's the one Nick's identified. Back in the middle they go.
Crowd doing their best to urge them on. What a start from the Hawks. Careful ruck tap. O'Brien, there's Newcomb again. Handed off to Warple. It's on repeat. Deep again to Chol. A charge hard. Can't take the mark. Laird back in defence. Caught in the crush. Worrell a handball. Neil Bullen again. A fumble. The Hawks ready to pounce. Hardwick just knocks it into the pocket. More Worrell has to redouble his efforts. He found it Adelaide and Laird. Didn't like one side. Tosses it up. Get some sort of clearance out of defence. Got a chance to take a breath. No. In it goes again to Joel. His bootlaces. D'Ambrosio cuts the kick. Whittle. No, not quite. Gunston again. He's got the play on it here. Looking for help. Just so calm. Played it back to Warple. Wasn't a mark. And in the end, that was tough.
Ooh, that's a big opportunity. A big opportunity. They just keep it alive. Every time it goes inside 50, they look dangerous, the Hawks.
Laird receives the kick in, goes to territory end of a contest. Still thought Barras made the spoil. D'Ambrosio first access under heat. Curtin did okay, but Newcomb is there as well. Barras back inside the Hawks, wave after wave. Gunston's the target, Keane the spoil. Underneath, Worrell doesn't have the support. How the umpires see that? Had to be a Hawthorn ball.
There's nervousness all over Adelaide at the moment. They are hurried and they are panicked, a bit like they were last week against Collingwood.
Ginnivan to give the Hawks forwards a look. Now he plays it around the perimeter cleverly to Amon. Winds it up. Right to the teeth of goal. It's going all the way! Danger, danger, danger! The Hawks have 3.
Well, it's just eerily similar to back in round 21. It was 5 goals to none. Now, the good news for Adelaide back then is they kicked the next 7. Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Newcomb's just on the tear here. He's absolutely picked up where he left off. So they're going to have to look at that match up right now. Does Dawson just say, hey, let me go to him for the next 10 minutes to get this game under control? But you talk about panic and you talk about how hurried they are. It was a fumble when they had the chance to exit their defensive 50 for the first time, and then it was Worrell. Just bang, get it out of my area, get it out of bounds, and a handball deliberate is the free kick that's paid. They're rare, Jace. Yep. They're just got... They're nervous.
4 early possessions for Giant Newcomb, and he's got the only 3 clearances on the ground.
So many weapons off half-back, and they do push forward. Carl Amon, what a season he is having. 3 straight goals to get things started. And that behind. Immense pressure on Adelaide out of the middle.
Newcomb's off the ground, so they've got a chance to get a centre clearance here.
At least they've got a stalemate. They've got a secondary ball up to guard things again. Ollie's away from Warple. No way out for Berry. At least not yet. Just patted forward. Warple, Laird, splayed out. Bit stodgy that time. That's a win.
Yeah. I wonder if that first rotation is on the number of goals or the number of minutes, because it was only 5 minutes.
Leave him out there, Jared, the way he was going.
Can't really sort things out yet. Does come out the back. Ward, handball creative. Hardwick, and again, Impey. Murray anticipated pretty well. Just a little bit of hesitation between Murray and Keane, and the ball goes out.
Looked at each other. This, when I talk about deferring to the opposition, then that's the hesitancy. If you have to bowl your own mate over early,
just do it.
Bowl him over.
Crows haven't had it beyond halfway. Hawks have hit them for 3 goals, 1. And he set up in attack again. Ginnivan was on the fly. He left it behind. Weddle had a fresh airing. Saligo pushed his way clear. Berry searching for a target up the line. Phil Thorpe couldn't reach.
So Sicily has got Taylor as an opponent, so he's freed himself up, although freed him up. So he doesn't have to go to a lockdown.
Scrimshaw's gone to him now. Yeah,
Scrimshaw's got Walker.
It's because Fogarty just came off the ground.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was talking about Little Taylor, not Taylor Walker there.
Rats form up, nothing from it. Dawson dragged down by Butler. Did get it onto his boots, put it into a contest. Laird fed it up. Peatling knocked over. Dawson is there to lend a hand. Kick's going to be a bit shallow. Past Neil Bullen. Thilthorpe. He lined the footy but didn't get it. Keys wrapped up by Newcomb, who's back into the fray. Thilthorpe strong over the footy. Peatling bangs it in deep. How they would love a mark here. Knocked away by Scrimshaw. Impey didn't gather it. Saligo dragged without it for a moment, but Scrimshaw holds up, and Impey and charging as Lewis. It's just too far for him. He couldn't quite get it to the boundary either. So the Crows are a chance to bring it away. Murray and Worrell, and inboard now. Taylor to set them up.
He's moved on straight away. Feeds it back. Hinge belts it up. Maybe it's time for Taylor Walker. Not quite. Hardwick. Battle. Worrell. So the defenders waxing a little. 26 disposals last week. Probably their best. Brings it back to the inside. Carefully as you go. Hinge had a forgettable game. Dawson has to lift. Adelaide has to lift. Has he got the touch for Thilthorpe? No. And again, Battle knew exactly where to stand.
Guys, Warple's come off. Looks like he's dislocated his finger on the boundary line, just trying to get it put back in.
They did this so well last week, Jared. They just absorbed a heap of pressure from the Giants early. They was 10 inside 52 against.
It's amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they didn't give up the score. So they're comfortable defending ball deep.
Ward takes the territory up the line. He'll need Lewis against a couple. Worrell filled the hole, takes the intercept. Dawson immediately on. Smith is the play through the middle of the ground, or Laird, but Dawson is going to stay on a more direct path by the looks. Skipper plays it wide the other way. Worrell takes off. Will movement beget movements. To the contest. Oh, Thilthorpe dropped it. Battle, blind hand pass coming, screws it back near the teeth of goal. They all grapple, and Hardwick settles it decisively.
Unless they got some field position here, just give them a bit of a chance. They got through everyone there to Riley Thilthorpe, who was uncharacteristically unsure in the air last week.
9 minutes without a score, giving up 3 goals, Adelaide.
Now this is the area there where Hawthorn are most vulnerable. So they gave up 64 points from clearance last week, Jason, and their scores against from clearance in their defensive 50s, where they are at their weakest. So see if Adelaide can capitalise.
Yeah, they would miss Isaac Rankin, of course. They pulled it out of the fire last time. Ball is fed back. Michael only didn't want to take the shot. Peatling does. And he's not far off the mark, and even not quite on the same wavelength for two Hawks, but they both did exactly what they needed to do, which was concede the behind. And Adelaide have scored.
Yeah, well, they can take a deep breath. I mean, the 3 on their nose just happened that quickly that they didn't really know what was going on. So at least now they've settled into the contest.
Scrimshaw with numbers out the far side. He comes the near instead. Gunston and Keane come up to it. Gunston edged. Keane underneath, got away with it. Weddle slings it forward blindly. Keane was good on the recovery. And find the right way. Saligo's there to lend a hand. Sets it up near Walker. Knocked away well enough. Scrimshaw was on the scene. Ball spills out to Weddle. Battle. Good pressure around the footy from the Crows. Scrimshaw trying to stride through. Smith offloaded. Holding the ball paid. Against Scrimshaw. It's Jordan Dawson.
Crowd might have played their part in that. They were baying for blood, repetitive tackles, so they have upped the pressure ante here, Adelaide. Both these teams very strong in that area. Can they find a mark for their big guys? Not from Phil Thorpe, he wasn't far away. Butler the tackle. Peatling under there somewhere. Another one who's improved the Crows this year, but wasn't able to bring his best last week. There's a vacant goal square, which would be tempting if an Adelaide player can get their hands on the footy, but that's the big problem. Newcomb this time. Tagged well by Taylor. You can see The applause and acclaim he gets from his teammates. It's an 18-point lead to the Hawks.
They've had 6 forward-half intercepts, the Crows, and 5 repeat inside 50, so good result up till now.
Ward, Butler and McDonald whisk it away, though. Not much of a kick coming forward. Easy work for Michael Annie, who uses Worrell and Laird. Sweeps the hand pass forward to Berry. Has a look at the deep target. Still thoughts on the lead. Got it! Better.
It's the clean intercept at half-back. It's a misdirected kick on the opposite foot from McDonald. It allows the quick transfer of play. They're able to change it back into the corridor, get the ball going forward. Then you get Phil Thorpe on the big lead. They've controlled territory a little bit the last few minutes. They just need a goal to get themselves settled and into the contest.
All Australian in his 5th season. Kick goals in 21 of 24 games for 57 in all. Riley, Phil Thorpe. The Crows need the settler, and there it is. A foothold in the game.
Yeah, I think if you wanted to pick someone to get started on the back of last week, it's this man. He's the man. He's had an outstanding year, Riley Philthorpe, but he was just poor last week. So he started in a much better way. And this will be a good result as well. So you just see Barris just off the back here. They haven't scored from back half too well in the last couple of weeks. So let's just see how hard he works here. It's just the timing of the lead. Actually, Barris had great field position there. I think he'd be disappointed, but that's what Philthorpe can do. He's a monster of a man to get around.
And so it takes the ball at such a high point. But the 2 players they wanted were the skipper to get into the game, and Dawson starting to get a little bit of possession now, and Phil Thorpe. He's the big-time player.
The field position you talked about, Jace, the repeat inside 50s were outstanding. So up until then, they'd had 5 inside, 6 forward-half intercepts in a row.
Looks like Dan Curtin's in the centre square. That doesn't happen too often too early in the contest.
Finally, the Crows a goal. Phil Thorpe, the kicker, goes straight into the ruck against Child. It was more than handy last week. Newcomb deep on the kick already. Gunston got both hands close to it. Hinge sweeping through. Miller from deep. Hardwick, such a hard man to pass. It was extraordinary last week, and he might have set another one up here. Connor McDonald on the end of it. Kicked 3 goals in the first half last week.
Guy Newcomb is an enormous problem already for Adelaide. He's had 4 clearances, all from the centre bounce.
Gave it back to Hardwick. Kicking goals at this ground is not completely unfamiliar.
So what do they do? Sorry, Halley. What do they do, Jason? I mean, we saw him rip first half to pieces last week, and he started in the same vein. 4 centre bounce clearances.
Yeah, it's a massive problem. Sandberry's done well on him before. So interesting to see how long Matty Nitz backs him in.
Michael Annie and Miller bring it out of defence. It's a static play, though. Snap for Pinkley. And opens up some space.
Bit of possession won't hurt the Crows if they can hit some targets.
Stay down the line. Neil Bullen working hard.
Just with Fogarty now.
Neil Bullen gets it moving. A little bit wonky was the kick. He's in front, knocked away. Underneath, Nash just takes the hack kick. Ginnivan to trap in centre field. He's hot. Had to release and did. McDonald's got the wave runners going by. Ginnivan might have got in the way of the ball. Intended for Newcomb, who ended up with it regardless. And now Sicily at the far side, steadies up. Hawks have got runners at halfway. Butler links it up quickly with Lewis. Can give it to McDonald or pump it in deep. He second-guessed himself. Got it away in the nick of time, but the movement broke down. Miller and Keatling to steady up for the Crows.
The second guess came because Gunston stopped his lead.
Great hard run from Tex to be there. And a point along the journey. Now Dawson has pushed forward to challenge Barris. On the arc from 55.
That would have been a team lift if he was able to fashion something from that. So Dawson goes forward and he gets the better of Barris, which is a fantastic win. But yeah, just got caught in 2 minds, Mitch Lewis.
He can blow up Barris. He likes to play in a certain area of the ground. These repeat efforts, that's when he can get him off the bit a little bit and his tongue hanging out. So Jordan to Barris there is not a bad move.
Scrimshaw long on the way out. Lewis was up over the pack, knocked away from him. Sicily held by one arm and dropped it. Fogarty, Miller up. Crows come back inside. Scrimshaw's got the whole pack folding back. Tex got hands to it, couldn't hang on, but he does stick the tackle. Able and trapped at the top of the screen.
to try and make something happen here. We want to see, they don't have to score, but they've got to be imaginative and ask this question of Hawthorn in their area of vulnerability.
Now it's Sicily's hands. More ball absorbs the tackles. So they're locked in close around the stoppage. And initially Scrimshaw stood up. Pitling disputes and sees it over the boundary for throw.
Hawks have lost their last 6 of their 7 games here at the Adelaide Oval. Exception a round 20 win over the Crows last year. They've started so well over the last 6 weeks, and they have again tonight. Joel got the tap, and it was all directed to Moore, the territory. Adelaide should have the numerical advantage if it stays in, but it doesn't. So the umpire might have to give them the advantage instead.
So change in direction. Matthew Nick said they're going to look forward. They don't want to play straight line. He told us pre-game. So it's the first time they got really aggressive on the switch.
Pass from Hims to Michael Lanning. Where to next? Little leading lane for Phil Thorpe is ignored. Bangs it high. No real elevation other than Barris. And the Hawthorn tackles are on the track.
No idea why you would ignore Phil Thorpe. He comes on a beautiful long lead to the top of the 50 arc, and the Hawthorn players let him go. Kick it to him.
Another forward stoppage for the Crows. Near ball out to Walker into open space. And Keys. Yes, that'll get it done.
Spoke about stoppage goals, guys.
In particular, 450 stoppage goals. And Jared just had another 450 stoppage, and you're thinking, okay, this is the vulnerable area for the Hawthorn Football Club. Make them more and more nervous. And then you'll just see Ben Keys, who was down. He was one of many that was down last week. Gets himself involved. So it's an area that they'll look to exploit. There's no question about that. On the move, good hands from Walker, good finish from Keys. They've settled. If you're an Adelaide Crows fan, take a deep breath, because at 3 goals to none and 19 goals to none, you were maybe thinking that your worst nightmare was about to be realised. They've settled. They've got field position back, so they're winning the inside 50. Their number one problem is this bloke in the middle has got number 3 on his back. 4 centre-bounce clearances. Only one bloke's done that more. Only had 1 more centre-bounce clearance in their history. The Giants see him in the quarter. He's had 4.
Which way will this one head? They grind the tap. They've got in the back. So where you go the offender more.
Peatling's gone to Newcomb now, so they've identified him.
In a rush to Impey. Oh, Child came out, but it fell short. Hinge. Made the adjustments to Pegler. And there was options forward with hands up. The lead's made. Just slight delay. And Hawthorn can cover some bases. Keys takes off. Goes to Fogarty. 1-on-1. Battle came away. Scrimshaw and handled, but been able to give themselves another forward 50 stop.
Hawthorn had the first 7 inside 50s. It's now 10 on board. So, as you said, they've evened it up.
They look dangerous on the rebound. The Hawks have to be a little bit more circumspect. The way they're kicking the ball forward, when they go quick and they miss the target, they are open for counter-attack.
Peatling's gone to Newcomb and he's running away from the stoppage. O'Brien hand passes it to him. Peatling doubles back, run flat back into Sicily. Wow. Cross.
He can draw a free kick, Peatling. One of the players that does drop the legs a little bit. You can see that one there.
It's a double win.
He's angry. He's angry.
He's gone to Newcomb as well, so if he can hit him if he can get him back the other way on the scoreboard, then they get a little bit back. So I think this will be almost another 450.
Tell you what, he blew up the right arm briefly up over the shoulder. He was very lucky not to give away 50 there.
Sicily, I presume it's against Impey rather than Sicily, who doesn't know that. Couldn't have been against Sicily. James Peatling to level things up. What a relief that is for the Crows. No damage done.
No damage done, but it demonstrated to them where the danger is, and so they've made some adjustment. And Peatling going to Newcomb is one of the big ones.
Watch the right arm of Sicily. That's where the umpire has spotted the decision. So it's the first part of the tackle. That right arm wraps around just a touch high, but gee, that's a tough one.
That's true. That's a shot.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Peatling has the highest free kick differential for Adelaide, plus 24.
It's a So when we say, what are we going to find from Adelaide, what we get here is a demonstration that they've learned a bit of a lesson in the space of a week. They haven't panicked. They've made a couple of changes. They've got to work and they've taken their chances when they've provided themselves.
Back into the season, the number one team for accuracy when converting gas, and kicked a couple of great set shots to steady.
Looks like the Adelaide.
The middle. Centre bounce again, O'Brien. Anyone on him, no one can stop him. Got the handball away to Meek, and then to Ward in position as the defensive mid. Sends them tumbling forward. Hinge, it took someone to bring it down. It was Hinge. Moore paddling it back. Butler over the top. Ball up. First 3 Hawks, next 3 Crows. 22 minutes played, still 7 to go in the opening term. Rucks at it quickly. Aim on. Halfbacks are up high.
Been a real momentum shift swing though after that electric start from the Hawks. They need to score next. They can't allow the Crows to kick 4 in a row.
Quickly pulls it out of there. Keys sends them forward. Again, the Hawks in position to defend and intercept.
Scrimshaw with decisions to make. Sicily has got Impey on so much ground last week. 960 metres gains. Just the lateral this time for Harvey. The Hawks had him as their best on the coach's votes. And Impey waits.
So now they both recognise the state of this game. So Hawthorn realise they've just got to take a little bit of heat out of it.
Not a whole lot to work with. But again, and Hardwick will attempt the switch to the far side. Sicily. Now D'Ambrosio's made good ground on the wing. Will receive and be waved on. D'Ambrosio just second-guessed himself. That support from Amon. Prods it to the 50. A decisive contest winner. Moore does his work underneath. Tosses it up for McDonald to get after. What is collapse? A free kick to Smith.
So parts of the Adelaide Crows game which fell down last week, and that was at both ends, looks a lot surer right now. I know the onslaught from Hawthorn was impressive, but the back six has defended better in the last 5 minutes. The forward line looks more dangerous, and they're scoring from stoppage.
Good hands from Curtin. As we said already, spent a bit of time in the middle. Eases away, out to the wing. Scrimshaw again, took some big grabs last week. There's the fist with Meek this time.
I think what you're talking about, Gaz, was that last time Hawthorn had the ball a lot more deliberate the way they moved it. They knew they'd left themselves open, trying to go too quick, turning the ball over. Had to be more deliberate, change direction, try and manufacture a better inside 50.
Adelaide Crows fans prepared to smile and breathe again. Berry, Warple, shrugs the tackle. Nuggety, like Newcomb from Gippsland Power. Played it back, high, wide ball from Michael Lanny. They fight over it, it's a mark. Out of bounds. It's a Hawthorn grab. And get it, Scrimshaw.
Well, they had left their back half 11 times, Hawthorn, previous to this. It hadn't gone inside 50 goals. So that's what we're talking about here. So they've ripped here and bust, hasn't been working. Let's try and be a bit more deliberate.
Battle. Up the line. A little short of where it needed to get to.
That was deliberate too.
The rest of the way over.
That could easily have been deliberate after the marking contest had been spoiled. He just hit the loose ball over the boundary. It's a good result for the Hawks to get the stoppage.
Laurel's got Gunson at the moment. I'm just going to wait to see whether Keane and he have just switched over in general play, or whether Keane's gone to Child for good.
Brian planted himself in front, hoping for Berry. Weddle's got other ideas. Made the tackle. Hold that meter! Newcomb's had 8 early, Hardwick as well. Morals had 8 in defence.
5 centre bounce clearances for Jai Newcomb, which would be some sort of record in a final in a quarter, I'm sure.
It's a wing clearance that has to be won. Good bodies in the ruck. Wards feeds it away to Warple. It's the forwards a look. 2 on 2. Miller a great positioning. And away from Butler and works the intercept. The battle of the number 30s.
The ball was on offer, that was Hinge. Peatland scoops away, makes the lead up into the middle from Michael Lanny. Just hesitated in pulling the trigger. Complete change of mind, but No damage at all. It could still be productive. Coming. Another ex-Giant who wasn't at his best last week. That's looked well timed, but turned out more extensive on the kick than Tex anticipated. Play on, battle. Hand was forced to Moore. Quite as much certainty in all of Hawthorn too right now.
There's great heat from the Adelaide forwards in terms of the way Hawthorn are exiting now. They're trying, they're going from side to side, but they're having difficulty getting through.
That'll help to battle. He punched it through the air. And then up to Watson. Start to filter through ahead. Battle getting adventurous now. And kicking to Weddle. On the run, there must be a chance from there, but he goes short instead to Gunston, can you believe? Who only needed 2 steps to go back. And it's a bigger surprise that he missed than if he had a kick.
It's another let-off from Mark Keane. He dropped off again because he didn't think Gunston was going to get used.
Had Keane gone back to him?
Yeah, on that occasion he was responsible for it.
Well, how can you just let John Gunston go? You get that with Mark Keane, guys. He does some amazing things and does a lot of intercepts, but he takes a few chances to get them.
Hinge brings it out. He needs O'Brien against Meek. Racks nullified each other. Whittle got a hand in. He's left his hands over down.
He's just reverted into a bit of a back half game at the moment. So intercept marking, which will tell you the story. They've had 5 apiece. They didn't look like intercepting early when there was heaps of speed on the footy.
First time this pair have played on a Friday night this season. Long system thrower and freezing conditions. Hawthorn prevailed. Wildly fluctuating game in Adelaide Oval not that many weeks ago. With the Crows on the right end of Newcomb, another clearance. Sets it up for Chol. 3 against. Miller underneath. Pressure comes. Hinge holds.
What they're trying to do, I think, is try to drag Weddle back to the goal square. Whoever gets him goes back to the square, and they want to get Mark Keane away from the square at the moment. So Weddle back to fullback now.
Warrell.
I'm sorry, Warrell.
Again into open space. Watson closed it, pulls it around. It's coming! It's coming! That's remarkable! A little piece of magic from Nick Watson.
A couple of goals to his name very early on, and that is a special one. It didn't even look to be much of an opportunity, and he just decided, well, there was no point not having a ping. From the tough angle, he was able to drag it across the body. It just looks like a nondescript ball heading towards the boundary. He goes, no, I can kick this. That's a 1 out of 10 at best, Gav.
That's him, isn't it?
Yep.
That's what he brings to the table, Nick Watson. He's just mercurial talent. We've seen this match up back in this forward half. So it is Worrell now who's in the goal square with Chol. So that rebound and run that he can provide, they're going to try and make it a little bit harder for him to do it from the last line. Great finish, Nick Watson.
Yep, Gunston and Keane both off having a spell.
Kicked 1 last week. Hit the Wizard, he already has 2. In an opening turn, Newcomb's going to get it out of there again, can you believe? Takes them wide. Hawthorn, a 7-point advantage, 2.5 minutes to go. High ball, Weddle. Where's Chol?
That's the attack on the ball that Hawthorn has to demand from Mabior Chol. He came from a long way away and he was focused on that one. There's a couple have come in that he hasn't quite committed to the contest, but that one very early on, he said, no, this has got my name on it. That is a great commitment to the contest. And he's capable, and he puts his mind to it. He is very capable of hitting the scoreboard.
It's 7 centre-bounce clearances and none.
Well, Newcomb has started so much. Mabior Chol, only 3 goals away from a PB in the season. Kicked 2 late ones last week. Doesn't get hold of that. With a nothing shot for goal, he'll be disappointed. Not an advantage. That would have been for the Hawks.
He's a very accurate kick cutter, but he just looked to be outside his range then. Yeah.
John Newcomb's played 3 finals, been the highest rated player in all 3 of them. He's the highest rated player on the ground right now.
He's got 6 of their 13 clearances and 5 centre bounce clearances.
Laird brings it in long. Neil Boyne was a bit ungainly in the pack. Ward straight back in. Miller as well. 6.
The only bloke who's done that before in 3 consecutive finals, Dustin Marr.
Good company, great company.
Lanny and Murray get themselves involved. just trying to keep it out of the Hawks' clutches at the moment. Long down the line. Sicily ran enough interference. Keys, though, gets hold of it. Around he went. Release Curtin. Breaks the lines and gives it away to Fogarty. Promising move. He'll pump it in long to no one in particular. Weddle goes back. Oh, he had a foible there. Chance to tidy up, though. And Weddle sees the space. And few know how to use it better. Not much of a kick. Captain gets it back. Dawson into Worrell. Checked his kick. Hawthorn couldn't get it. And battle in Sicily to bring the Hawks out.
You've got you twice there, Jared. Kick back to the middle. They're outnumbered, but just take some more ground from McDonald. Big leap from Watson to his own advantage, to Charles' advantage. They can keep it going in the flow. Out wide, Impey had a lot of time. He needed it. Joel kept on running. Another change at line. Skids it towards goal. Wasn't a connection he was after.
Oh, Marty or Charles. An elementary hand pass. Regulation hand pass.
That effort by McDonald to get Boot on ball when he was in field by the middle of the ground was unbelievable.
And a great contest from Watson too in the air, just to bring it to the ground and keep it alive.
7 seconds remaining. Adelaide cannot afford to give up a late goal after they were able to recover so much ground lost. Curtin, tackle from Child, that'll do the job. Oh, deep breath, what a quarter. Hawks out of the block for the first three. Adelaide worked their way back, but some magic from the Wizard have the Hawks up by 8 at quarter time in this do-or-die knockout semi-final. Will it be Adelaide, the minor premiers, or will it be the Hawks that advance to take on the Cats at the end of this round of footy? It's a compelling Monday night with AFL 360. Gary and Jared, coaches night as always, and the Catch.
All right, folks, there we go. It's quarter time here at Adelaide Oval. It's the Hawks 4-4-28 leading the Crows 3-2-20. So shout out Magpie Matt is in the house. How you doing, Tatty? Good to see you beat 3. Who else popped on in there? Hey, Timothy, how you doing? How you doing? Welcome in. What time of year to be out of form? Hawks deserve the lead. You know what? Yeah, look, I don't know. The Hawks jumped out of the gates pretty good, didn't they? Kicking 3 goals in the first few minutes. But from then on, Adelaide sort of took control of this game a fair bit until probably the last couple of minutes where Hawthorn got that goal, put them back in front by 8 points. As I was saying earlier in the chat, I think Thilthorpe is definitely the key to Adelaide chances getting up over the line here tonight. If he gets on fire, tell you what, there's pretty much no stopping Adelaide. He's proven that in a lot of games so far. Yo, Eddie G, what's going on? Go the Crows. Yeah, we're going for the Crows. Look, I don't know. Whoever wins this game's going to, of course, next week take on Geelong. That's going to be a tough assignment for either of these games, for either of these teams, I should say. There we go. Look, Hawthorn have got a fair bit of speed they can't bring into this game, but Adelaide has certainly got the strength, etc. like that. Adelaide, look, they had their chances going inside their forward 50. They just didn't deliver the ball properly. They were just sitting it too high and just going over the forward's head. So, look, I still think Adelaide will get the job done here tonight. I think they're going to be the better side. Of course, if we just have a quick look at the lineup, the ins and outs, Joshua Shelley coming in there for Adelaide. That's a pretty good in coming in for them. Huey Bond going out. Joshua Shelley is the sub. He'll probably be brought on maybe a couple of minutes to go in, in the last couple of minutes of the third quarter. That's what I'm trying to say. Mitchy Lewis comes in for the Hawks. Cash Ladir going out. Tell you what, that's a big out. Giath is the sub for the Hawks. That is your teams. Let's just have a look at the players' stats, goal scorers. Of course, Nick Watson is topping the table. I'll tell you what, it's quite rare that Nicky Watson gets a couple of touches because he goes missing in big games. He's definitely not a big game player, is the Wizard. He's good in the home and away. Let's see how he ends up after the night. Anyway, he's got 2 goals leading the way there for the Hawks. Gunston with 1 and Carlamon with 1 for the Crows. Thilthorpe, Peatling and Keys have got 1 for the Crows. Lola Wiz Absolutely. I tell you what, it'd be interesting to see the stats of him and the other mouth of the south. We'll see where they are in a moment. Jai Newcomb, though, for the Hawks, I tell you what, he's smashing them out of the centre. He's got a few clearances, 11 touches. Tell you what, there's a player the Adelaide Crows need to put a little bit of time into tagging also, because he is danger for the Crows. Jai Newcomb on song in this opening term. 5 kicks, 6 handballs, 6 clearances. My gosh. Get a tag on him and get a tag on him quick. Josh Battle next best on 10 for the Hawks. The only 2 in double figures, both for the Hawks. Josh Worrell, best for the Adelaide Crows. Of course, 9 touches, 5 kicks, 4 handballs, 3 marks. There we go. Blake Hardwick on 9. Peatling on 8 with Michael Lenny. Is that how you say it? I hope so. And Hinge. There we go. All right, Josh Weddle started off reasonably good. 6 there for the Hawks. James Sicily, I tell you what, he needs to keep his cool a bit. He had a red-hot crack at the umpire. I don't know, he didn't give away a 50. There we go. Tackle went against him. Of course, it was over the shoulder. Blew up at the umpire. Tell you what, he needs to take some chill pills. There we go. All right, let's roll on down. Jordan Dawson there for the Crows. 6 touches there, 5 and 1. He's kicked to behind. Let's roll on down, said Nick Watson. Just a 4 possessions, 2 kicks, 2 handballs, a clearance and 2 goals. There we go. Jack Gunston, another one. They'll be wanting to get the ball into his hands. He's one of the most accurate kicks in the competition. He's kicked 1-1 off his 3. Where is that player I was looking for? Oh, there he is. He is the mouth of the south. Jack Ginnivan. Well, Jack, I tell you what, the crowd's quietening you tonight. You've only had 3 touches, 1 kick, 2 handballs. That's it. There we go. Got to love when Jack Ginnivan stays quiet. Let's have a look at some of the spearheads there for the Adelaide Crows before we head back, because we're not too far away. There we go. As I said, Riley Thilthorpe and Tex Walker, just the 2 touches, 1 kick, 1 handball each. Thilthorpe just the 1 goal. Got to deliver the ball a little bit better to the spearheads down there. And I think, as I said, I think they'll end up coming out on top. I don't know my predictions, though, sometimes. They can be up and down. Just have a quick look at the... My gosh, it hasn't loaded up the team stats. Let's load that up. Of course, it's plus 15 to the Hawks. Inside 50s, there we go. Both teams getting plenty of it. 14 to the Crows, 17 to the Hawks. There we go. Umpires letting this game roll a little bit, just 4 free kicks apiece. Let me just roll down quickly. I just want to have a look at the tackle count. Tackle. I always love looking at the tackle count and see the pressure they're putting on. 12 to 11. Both teams need to lift a little bit more pressure also in this game. 3 to 2 tackles inside 50. All right, that's enough of me jibber jabbering. Hey, folks, let's get back down to the action. It's the Hawks by 8 points. Come on, Crows.
As much as I could.
Nick Watson, 7 in last year's final series, 3 in this corresponding semi-final, 1 in the elimination final and 2 in the first term tonight.
Impressive.
2 has proven himself a September player. 8-point margin in the Hawks' favour. O'Brien trying to win the first clearance. Berry being worked over by Warple. Hand pass found Laird, who got through. Saligo brushed apart. Cumming tries to set the Crows up from the wing. He'll want Tex down the line. He took hold of Scrimshaw.
So Saligo took Newcomb at that centre bound. So that's 4 about a go.
Scrimshaw directed a lot of play out of half-back in that opening term.
He was super last week, this bloke. Played a terrific game.
Just checks his kick for more. Umpires
They paid the mark. That was very lucky. He didn't control it.
The same view we did. You can see what was happening out the fronts. Weddle into this pack. Rises. O'Brien knocked it away. Wilson brought down by Chop. Momentum swings with a mode. And they played late in the home and away season. It's in the best 3 games of the year. This has started. It's got every chance of equaling that night. Nash to be dragged out.
Straight up, please.
1-1 this year, of course, round 14. The Hawks won by 3 on a pretty weird night down in Tassie. And that 14-point win to the Crows. Both teams coming from behind at 3/4 time to prevail. High ball, Nash. Hinge left his man, but Joel would not be denied.
Wow. That's some sort of mark, cutter.
It is a heck of a grab.
So Hinge came off his man. He left the Wizard Watson. I was watching him come off. I thought, gee, that's brave. You better make an impact here. You'll see him come across the front. That's just a really strong body in a marking contest against a really good defender in Josh Worrell as well. So
Just popped the elbow in the head, so he's taking his time getting up.
you've got a sort of chance of goal.
Well, exactly right. And this is the range. He's very good at just steering the ball once he's 40 metres out.
Yeah, and Jack Gunston's a very smart man because he went and stood right alongside him in
I
case.
can take it if
You
you're a
see,
bit
case he couldn't take the kick.
So Mabior Chol, 41 goals, 17 for the season. Almost 10 years in the game. 44 is his most in a year. He's worn one for the team there. And it will feel well and truly worth it if he can convert here. The Hawks by 8. Missed a long one and misses one from closer range. He'll be disappointed.
Missed them both left.
Very quiet in last year's final series. Played well enough last week. Not converting his chances. Keane brings it in long. Meek always had best position on O'Brien. Free kicks are the advantage allowed. Newcomb and Warble up to full forward. Gunston low down. Lewis kept it going. Watson's got a mind for it. It just wouldn't quite spill his way. Drags down Warren. Hawks reset deep forward. Nick arrives. Flip it to advantage. Michael Aney got trapped with it. Played defensive forward last week. Michael Aney didn't really work. He's back in his natural habitat tonight. Newcomb was on the move, kept away from it. Curtin brings it out. Long up the line, Scrimshaw. Couldn't quite. Snatches it in, dispossessed. No whistle. Crows just take whatever territory's on offer. Fogarty might do the same. Sicily's having none of it. Stopped him dead. Lying on his back, he was able to get it away. Saligo, Neil Bullen, Keys, that was just so clever. It gives Dawson a chance. He floats it. It needs to do a lot. It wouldn't. So he's the devil in the deep blue sea. He really wasn't balanced to get it to come in.
Did he see?
And neither could he hook it to the goal.
I think you're generous. I think he's a player of his calibre. Should see Isaac coming there. Going back onto his left foot. He had enough time to get a left foot. His eyes should have seen him in his peripheral vision.
Opportunity still there. Deep stoppage close to the post. Keys was on the move. Kicks him from close range too, Ben Keys.
Just watch this set play, and they love to isolate one of their tall wingers. They did it early in their first kick out with Battle, and they isolated him.
Weddle's another one they like to do it with.
Yep. I think Adelaide are doing the same with Curtin, so there's some tall wingers out there tonight.
Sicily lets it all wash over and then kicks down the wing. Meek got there first. Follow up from Lewis in his first final. Tries to force his way through. D'Ambrosio gave him a way out. There's a clean one to Moore. Feathers ruffle. Watson. The hands, they keep it in. That's the mindset. It's the Hawthorn way. D'Ambrosio, good smother. Strong response from May.
Just good athleticism from Mitch Lewis in amongst that. I know he's missed a lot of footy. Just to compete down the line and then get back at it. It's a good sign.
Hawks by 8. They're big lumps in the ruck. Being taken to ground by Ward.
Clearance at the moment, 14-10 in favour of the Hawks. They had dominance in that first quarter. So they won their first centre bounce clearance at the first centre bounce of this quarter, the Adelaide Crows, for the game.
Ridden to kick away some way or another. Murray stood in the tackle, used lead, Miller up, got his way to Butler. They had opened up a few possibilities, had to be precise, and was Taylor, or no mark paid. Impey tried to get underneath. Hawks might win out, no they won't. Good steal, set up by Cumming. He's put it for Tex, knocked it out of Sicily's way, kept it going into open space. D'Ambrosio cuts the angles and turns away from the veteran forward and delivers it ever so well for Butler.
What a battle between Tex and Sicily when it comes their way.
Yeah, it's just a little double grab from Tex. He looked like he was out. These umpires are letting the game go here tonight.
Sam Butler, surprise choice last week, pulls the kick, reaching over. Michael Lanny to Laird and back again to Max. Neil Bull on the premiership experience that he brings. Michael Lanny this time to walk, he tried to take a chest mark. Sicily wasn't going to let that happen. D'Ambrosio gets bowled over by Smith. It's downfield.
It's Hex from Sicily.
Things are getting a little more feisty now. Warple, the din around the Adelaide Oval. Hard to hear your teammate, hard to hear the umpire. Moore to the goal square. Oh, Wennell!
That's what he can do, this bloke. He played the last 10 minutes as a centre-half forward last week, and they just kept kicking it to him. And when he gets front spot, although this is a great jump at it, absolutely outstanding. Just wondering if he's come down from the wing. We talked about the fact that there are tall wingers out here. He's just might have timed his run beautifully down towards that forward, the goal square.
He's on coming on the wing, Gaz.
Yeah, coming, just puts his head down. He's got out jump.
Return last week, he missed a shot at goal late, but from 20 metres out, his talent cannot be denied, and neither is his goal kicking this time. 2 in a row for the Hawks, and the first of the second term is all important.
Gee, it was a big contest at half-back for the Hawks. Sicily against Taylor Walker. There was plenty going on, and there was plenty afterwards as well. They were having a go while all this play started to go forward. A nice little right foot chip from Ward, who was caught on the wrong side of his body, and then a well-weighted kick from Moore. That's a really good lead. We know he's a great athlete. If he gets the sticky hands and gets his kicking boots on, his ability to play as an attacking wingman will be vital.
Yeah, it's a great weapon to have. I mean, the flexibility for him to play anywhere. So, Odie Smith, he was Isaac Cumming was an opponent, but Brew was right. He's now Smith. I don't know whether they put Smith onto him to try and have a bit more defensive accountability or not. And Sicily's had some big moments there.
Cummings over on the other wing now. I think it's just a rotation, Garrett.
Classically didn't know whether to watch the footy or the fights. Another set of clearance for Hawthorn. Nash, not great penetration about it. Miller used the body well.
He's won some good one-on-one contests, Miller. 2 or 3 really good marks.
Works hard for him. Away from Sicily, Gilport up the line. Just gave him one more here.
I don't mind this straddle. Berg Parrish right out of that sort of defensive 50 where he operates so well.
They've got to start looking for him on the lead ball. For a big man, he leads particularly well, and if the ball's delivered out in front, the only way you can score is to give away a free kick.
Gilport's going short, coming. Trying to get one back. He made all the rain at one end. Dawson didn't find him. He watches Weddle.
Yes.
All the way up one end to put it on the board.
Great point, Garrett.
So to a contest. It's a big contest too. Spills to the back. Keys trying to create. Could he do it? He wouldn't dare, would he? No. Working at both ends.
Quickly out of fullback, Hardwick tries to stay balanced to make the right call and execute. Amon's hands and Weddle already charging forward, breaking the lines. Amon got a little bit disrupted. It got a lot disrupted, but somehow it ends back in friendly hands to Butler. Then they bring it in. Ward, he gets himself clear as well. It's high, they're even numbers, so they're every chance. But Keane doing his best work. See ball, get ball. Kicks to Pedler. One of their best last week. No free kick, no mark. Crowd ropeable. They might be worse in a minute. Nash, 50 out. Lewis, no.
Gee whiz. These umpires, I'm telling you, they are erring on the side of letting the game go. And I don't mind it, as long as it's consistent. The Adelaide crowd feel like they're on the rough end here. Look, that's paid more often than not.
Yeah, there's an arm shot.
I don't mind that it's not, as long as it's consistent.
Hawks by 13, attacking again. Hawks nullified each other. Meek back onto it. Needed supporting ball. Didn't get a legal hand pass away.
Just a little bit of urgency now to get back in the scoreboard here from Adelaide. They had a really good period. They kicked 3 in a row.
Saligo takes off with nobody matting the mark. Hardwick's got it covered. Diffuses a long kick up the line. Gunston looking the angles. Which way to go? Through Sicily. He's a bit in many away environments.
He's a weapon with the ball in his hand. He might be a villain. His boot is lethal.
Those fans have zeroed in on him. Paris and Sicily. is the widest on this near side.
Defending really deep, Adelaide Crows.
Sicily give him some marking practice. Weddle and Lewis across the front. O'Brien didn't mark in defence. Miller kick was smothered by Moore. O'Brien dragged off it. Murray ran straight into Lewis.
Hawks lead 13 now. Lewis goes back to the goal square. O'Brien knocks it out of the 50. Ward sends it back to the front. Keane with the fist. Safety first. Hawks have the scouts. Ginnivan, haven't seen much of him yet. Smothered from Laird. Worrell absorbs. McDonald. Rose looks to be creative. He's touched. Touch ball.
Maybe it would have been better looking for a hand pass. And McDonald tried to kick the miracle goal on that occasion, but getting some good defensive pressure in their forward 50 of the Hawks, making it difficult for the Crows to exit.
What will come of it? The ruck's tied up. Ginnivan again lurking. Doesn't come his way. Laird knew exactly how to hand it off. And who as well to Dawson. Phil Thorpe. Bound by Barris illegally, said the umpire. Big Tommy's frustrated. The Eagle Premiership player, Phil Thorpe, he's taking him right up the ground, as we've said.
And it is slow play, Hutto.
Yeah.
And it allows that Hawthorn, with Phil Thorpe up high, it allows them to get back behind the ball.
Brian's having a rest, so Phil Thorpe in the ruck now. Pushes forward, Sicily. Pedler denied him. Keys, is it an angle? No, it's a Hawthorn free.
So it's hard work at the moment for Taylor Walker and Fogarty that just can't get involved at all.
That's one of Sicily field on.
Not a lot in it.
No.
Sicily works it up the line. Chol can't get access. Foggy.
Well, he's got to be more aggressive making a contest there, Marvin. So that's what we spoke about before. The number one thing he has to do is complete.
Foggy just made the equation. How much ground was he prepared to give up? Worrell for Laird. They'll continue to work this across through Hinge. They're doing their own umpiring.
One good thing is they got John Newcomb under control this quarter. He's just had the one touch.
Miller Estate camp is the widest. So from the left wing, Smith. And playing as the sub, he starts tonight as with Shelley. To return to the lineup. We'll see him later on. Smith up to the 50. Dawson. With the free run at us. Has led with such distinction. The players had him as the season's best captain.
Can he go the journey here?
He's a beautiful long kick. He'll arc out a little bit to the left and go around the man on the mark rather than straight over him. He'll go close if he wants to.
Jordan Dawson winds it up. What a great path to go. Back in, Crows have a chance. Now Bullen's kick smothered. Scrimshaw with the clearance as well. Away to Warple. Worked it on. McDonald clears the area. Hawks would be happy for this to go out.
It's a great kick, McDonald. Just outnumbered horribly down the line, and he just locked it over the head in between defenders, and it was subtle enough not to give a deliberate free kick away.
So we're over halfway into this second term, and Adelaide has just kicked two behinds. The Hawks a lone goal with a behind to go with it. So from 8 they lead by 13, but they're looking to build. Ward, they have the overlap. McDonald reluctant to use it with Ginnivan. He wanted one out. He wanted Mitch Lewis. Well done, Murray. Safety for the Crows. Just a bit of a lull. Won't be for long at a final like this with so much riding on it. No minor premiership. Minor premier has gone out, as has been discussed during the week, in straight sets since 1983. It's not the sort of history that you want to think about going into a big final. Play on, Warple takes it away. Play on again, so Ginnivan's got a heck of a time trying to wrench it out of there. But he always wants to stay involved.
Really is a free kick, isn't it? You're supposed to hand it back to the umpire. If you swing it at the opponent, it's just a straight up free kick. And he can try to work his way through, still in his path. Hawthorn down to Peatland, fed it to Berry. Couldn't get his kick away, so to Smith and Berry. He's been hunted by Watson. Found a little gobbler down the line. Wood and Warple combine, and back inside go the Hawks. Lewis propelled himself at it. Ginnivan underneath. Oh, brought down. Holding the ball. It'll be popular with the crowd. Laird, you shall not pass.
So they're going to get speed on the ball. They've been kicking long and slow from just forward of the centre bounce. They've taken one mark inside their forward 50 for the game, the Adelaide Crows, because Hawthorn are making them kick. Well, they can't get any heat on the ball with quick ball movement. It's dragging Philthorpe high up the ground, and their forwards aren't dangerous close to goal.
Mitch Hinge looks like he's injured in the middle of the ground, just trying to get off by the looks.
Is that coming? Bangs it up. It's just a straight back over the line and out of bounds. Any idea what happened to him, Rook?
Just in that contest over the other side, the Ginnivan tackle, just looked like he got a corky or something.
So Jordan Dawson's gone forward now. The battle picks him up. Walker's the deepest with Barris, but he's out at the 50-metre line. So they've got to get some run and carry, some overlap, the Adelaide Crows.
Shelley, the sub, as we know, back after 10 weeks of hard rehab. We certainly would have been planning on bringing him in before half-time, but could be a necessity yet with Mitch Hinge. He was subbed off last week. After the ruck's Child. In fact, the ruck of his own boot. Miller up. Made his claim not once but twice. Curtin. Warple neutralises.
It's gone down into a second gear, high race, 4 wheels going with no great speed, just chugging along both sides at the moment.
Holding Adelaide. Held the arm.
Kick against the backup ruck goes to the primary ruck with O'Brien.
You want the corridor here. You want to switch the ball and get some run and overlap. They haven't looked once through the middle of the ground, Adelaide.
Hawks have kicked the last 2 goals either side at quarter time. Disrupted kick, not for Warple. All wars have turned out Saligo. Blind quick handball to Curtin. Back through the traffic and out the other side. Firing out to Neil Bull, and that's better. That's more systematic quickly. Saligo, they keep running. Taylor Walker has a long walk. The crowd will this.
But the first time there's a bit of zing. There's a little bit of zing on the ball, a little bit of urgency.
Halfway through the kick, it
looked good, didn't it?
Straight in.
She gets penetration. He is such a beautiful time of the football, Taylor Walker.
2-goal margin in the Hawks' favour. Sicily brings it into the middle. He's not going to find Newcomb initially. Worrell had a good fly. Needed support and didn't have it. Ward spins his way out and put it back into trouble. Battle slapped it to him was clever stuff. Ginnivan got it from him and sets the Hawks out. Butler can run it into space. He's got 3-on-3 inside the 50. He pulls the kick for Lewis.
That comes back to great vision from Jack Ginnivan. He had players calling for handballs all around him, but he knew Butler was out in space ahead of the footy on his own. So he just ignored the hand passes. He took the kick, released Butler, who then just had to work out the best option to kick inside 50. Waited, he was patient, and he identified where Mitch Lewis got some space.
Kicked 4 in the VFL to be ready to retake his place. Kel Shadir out injured. Mitch Lewis will need his very best strike. It's shallow, and Cumming defends it through. 13-point margin.
So no real blows in this second term of substance.
Yeah, both sides have been really conservative. I mean, the amount of times Adelaide have come along this boundary from their defensive 50, hugged the boundary the whole way through. Philthorpe's taking marks up on a wing to help him get through, but this is the kind of...
There's the kick. That's the one that opens the ground.
A little bit of expansiveness, Jace. You'd like them to be a bit more creative.
So Michael Annie to Keane. Not at a pace that'll really test Hawthorn yet, though.
Better.
To Miller.
And this is credit to Hawthorn, Hutto, too. Yep. Defended it really well.
Back to Keane. He looked like he was committed to the long, but tweaked the kick to Neil Bullen. So far, so very good for the Crows. Neil Bullen's kick. Fogarty. Oh, the big guy. O'Brien. Big Rob plants the body and executes the pass.
Well, what happens when all of a sudden you take it off the line and then you just break it up a little bit, you chip, you probe. It takes one Hawthorn player to have a lapse in concentration. All of a sudden Neil Bullen standing out on his own mark, he finds him. Taylor Walker for the second time, and then being a bit more aggressive, gets a shot at goal.
He's a long way out to be going opposite foot around the corner. He's going to have to time this perfectly.
If anyone can.
Yes, he can.
Couldn't really celebrate the big milestone last week. And again, you won't get much joy in that.
There's some learnings in that, though. There's some learnings in the last 2 shots at goal they've had, the Adelaide Crows. Don't be boring and slow and predictable. Take it on a bit. Make it hard to defend.
Still without a goal for the term, the Crows are in the clinches right now, these two. More space to be viable targets.
The Hawks aren't being too expansive either, to be honest.
Well, they started getting burnt on the rebound gas when they tried to put too much pace on the ball. If it doesn't come from a centre clearance, they've had to build it up a lot more judiciously.
That Hawk challenged Impey, and the ground ball well gathered by McDonald's. He's got runners out the far side. Weddle, beautifully weighted ball. He wants to break. How the umpire said he waved play on. It must be holding the ball there.
Great kick, great tackle. Kick for McDonald was like a quarterback just putting it in right on his chest, and then he took an extra step. Brodie Smith was up to it.
As he played to put the ball on the ground, it tempted the umpire on the 50. Crows turned to work it around. Keane chooses her an adventure on the way out. Michael, that's difficult. Newcomb will have Charlie if he can just brush his way clear. Uses the hand pass instead, and Moore will steady and goal. The Hawks make the Crows pay for a defensive lapse.
So it's the umpire calling play on that puts Mark Keane under pressure. All of a sudden, Marvell Chol's closing in. He's got to go. He's got to make a decision. He tries to finesse a little pick-out target on the short one, and as soon as you miss it, well, then there's trouble because there are Hawthorn players just swarming in. It's just a matter of thinking their way through traffic, and they did it very well in the end.
As good as Mark Keane has been this year, and as well as he's defended, you sweat on everything he does. You absolutely ask him to be perfect when he comes out of defence, because he will give you a look at some stage, and he'll try something a little different. He'll bite off something a bit too much. That hurts. That's really painful. They had good looks for Taylor Walker twice down the other end, and in a low-scoring quarter, 2 goals to none, they opened it up to 18 points. There's Jack. Jack can't help himself.
You're right. It's compulsive, isn't it?
They have the last 3, though, the Hawks. The threat is growing by the minute. It's an 18-point margin. Smith zooms off the wing, kicks the Crows forward. They need Phil Thorpe or Pedler or Fogarty, anyone. Phil Thorpe pulls it out of there. Through Saligo. Maybe it's Ben Keys, maybe it's not.
See, he had a player outside him as well.
Maybe it's not.
He had the option. It was Taylor.
Two minutes 16 in the margin. He's back out to that 3 goals that the Hawks put on at the very start of the game.
Gee, it's a big couple of minutes. A goal either way changes the concept of the game.
Crowd feeling all of that too, Jason, no doubt right now. I mean,
they're on the edge of their seats, Hunter. They're nervous again.
They just got back late in that opening quarter to a position of relative comfort. They caught all those goals back out. As we look over the famous scoreboard from the cathedral end towards the riverbank stand of this famous sporting arena, filled with very nervous Adelaide fans at the moment. Top of the ladder at the end of the home and away season. Couldn't bring anywhere near their best against Collingwood last week. Jumped by both the Magpies and the Hawks in round 21 when they last met. And again, it's happened. They have time on their side. This 120 seconds so vital. It might start with the skipper. Dawson to set up. Fogarty with a running jump, met by Hardwick. It came back to Fogarty. This just has to be. It's another miss.
Yeah, but the one positive for the Crows, Hunter, and we saw Tex missed a goal. It was Dawson that missed a snap. We saw Keys miss a snap, and now Fogarty misses a snap. They are creating the opportunities. It's just been the conversion that's let them down.
You can see the anguish growing.
But they are missing by a mile, Jason.
That's the pressure of the game, pressure of the occasion.
Keys and then Fogarty.
Everything's a little bit rushed.
So the Hawks just blasted out to try to set up down the line. More threatens. Crows had good numbers around it though. Curtin, Dawson, Miller. He's determined to go backwards or led, doesn't have it, so there's danger everywhere here. Show comes at him.
Back here. Let him go.
Could have been watched again a little bit towards the eye of the crowd.
Yeah, give away 50 if he's not careful. That's the problem.
Play on.
Crows look to construct power back.
He dropped that. He dropped it.
He's been called to play on.
Neil Bullen, that's only just 15. So minutes to negotiate all the way. Curtin has a fly up the line. It's spoiled from Amon, who might be back in the play here. Ward goes a little deeper. Works it onto Moore. Promising set up this. Well-weighted ball. Watson on the roll. Will he give him a look deeper? He might try to blast it home. Not quite enough. What a sprawl in defence by Worrell.
Tough decision. Nick Watson, he's probably thinking I'm outside of range, but he didn't see anything that he really liked. Tried to bite off the long one. Opportunities at both ends.
The fragility of this Adelaide offence is clear, isn't it? They've served them so well. Worrell bangs it up. O'Brien and Meek both made their claims. Newcomb decisive again to Sicily. Ward's left boot employed wide to Moore. Too far out. 20 seconds remaining in this first half. One last thrust for the Hawks. How telling it could be. No mark there to Nash. Bodies topple. The umpire will have one last call and one last throw. Single figures in the first half. Hawks lead by 19 points. Adelaide defending grimly. Butler knocked away to Berry. Got through Ginnivan, gave it back to Nash. On the bell, was it a high fence? Oh, wasn't no further damage. But the second quarter has belonged to Hawthorn. And the margin is 19, Jason Dunstan.
Been a good contest. I still think both teams are right in this. Adelaide Crows missed a few opportunities. They won't panic. 8-2, the centre bounce clearances. Although what they were able to do was keep John Newcomb to just 4 possessions in that second term. He destroyed them in the first. Rory Laird starting to come into the game. Miller has been really good across half back. So, look, I know there's a 3-goal margin, but it feels like the game's pretty evenly poised.
A nerve jangler at halftime in this semi-final. Our panel has watched from the hill. Jonathan Brown, Jordan Lewis and Nathan Buckley to share their insights next. How has this unfolded and what comes next? It's Hawthorn by 19 points. The prize is a place in an MCG preliminary final, and the best minds in the game are about to put it all to the test. See where we are at Adelaide Oval. Finals footy on Fox.
You're watching Finals footy on Fox.
Say hello.
All right, there we go. The commentators will be back for a bit of analysis. Ollie, go Adelaide Crows. How you doing? How you doing? The Smarts in the house. G'day, Ryan. What's going on, Squire? There we go. I tell you what, that was a bit of an arm wrestle that second term. Of course, Adelaide Crows could only manage 4 behinds. Tell you what, it's all about moments, isn't it, folks? In the big finals, Adelaide just couldn't take those moments. The Hawks, though, 2 goals, 3 in that second term. They go 6-7-43. What's that? 19-point leaders at the moment over Adelaide. 3-6-24. Ex-Winky. Go Adelaide. How you doing? I tell you what, we've got more Adelaide supporters in here tonight, I think, than Hawthorn supporters. Of course, I think I'm going for Adelaide. Why not? As a Collingwood supporter, we're not big fans of the Hawks, so there we go. I'm tipping maybe the third quarter, we're going to have a little bit of a breakout. As I said, a real big arm wrestle in that quarter. And again, as I was saying, folks, at the end of the first quarter, Thilthorpe, he's the key to Adelaide. He's not doing anything at the moment. He's getting an absolute shellacking, spanking. He needs to be brought into the game. Whether they just put him up around the ruck or somewhere, get him to get his hands on the ball, bit of touch. Maybe that's what they need to do with Thilthorpe. There we go. The commentators are going to be back just in a moment. There we go. Come on, Adelaide, from Mahin Khan. He said, g'day. Peter, how you going? He's going for the Hawks. Teddy, well, Teddy's going for a close game. Magpie, I think you're going for the Crows like me. There we go. Not sure who Ryan's going for. There we go. By the way, folks, if you follow the NRL, of course, qualifying final over there, it's Melbourne Storm leading 14 points to the Bulldogs, 12 points. So Melbourne Storm 2 points up there at half time over in the NRL qualifying final. Go Storm. There we go. They've dropped his, they have certainly dropped his Dax and given him a spanking. It's not doing too much. Let's go and have a look at the goal scorers. We'll have a look at the players' stats while we're waiting for some of the, pretty cool commentators to come back. Crows were like Mike. What's that? Crows here like Mike. What's that? Copping a spanking. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. There we go. Nick Watson, 2 goals, 1. Just the 3 touches in that second term. He's had 7 touches for his 2 goals. Still leads away. The only multiple out there, Josh Weddle. He's got 1. Dylan Moore, Gunston, Carlamon. Singles, of course, low, tight scoring game up until half-time so far, which we thought it could have been actually a little bit of an open game here. We thought there might have been some high scoring, but that's just not the case. That's not the case. There we go. Riley Thilthorpe, Peatling, Ben Keys are the goal scorers there for the Crows. Wow, just a 3. All right, we'll get back to this in just a moment, folks. We're going to head back down to the commentators. They'll give us a bit of a wrap-up on the opening half of their thoughts.
In the first quarter, courtesy of that man, Giant Newcomb, they fought back well, the Adelaide Crows, but they were goalless in the second quarter. Jonathan Brown, Nathan Buckley, Jordan Lewis, what are your thoughts, boys?
Well, great start by the Hawks. Then Adelaide were able to drag themselves back into that first quarter. But then I felt as if Hawthorn got it back on their terms in the second quarter, probably with the ball movement as we'll go into it.
Yeah, they definitely shifted their speed of ball movement, Hawthorn, which we'll have a look at. But Adelaide, they were able to fight back really well. But as you said, high-scoring team through the year. Their inability to hit the scoreboard last week was significant, and we're seeing evidence of that again.
A massive challenge for them. Hawthorn are going to keep scoring, Jordy. They're going to find a way, Adelaide.
Yeah, I mean, they left some opportunities out there, especially in that second term. Just maybe the occasion has got to them a little bit. So certainly I think at half-time, the conversations will be around just settle into the game and relax, and you'll get opportunities which they've got, but they've just rushed a few times, I think.
All right, let's go to our Samsung half-time highlights powered by Gemini. It was just mind-blowing what happened at the start of this game. We're all looking at Giant Newcomb thinking, can he keep his finals run going? And he just blew the game open.
Well, he's the number 1 ranked player at half-time, so he's been able to do it, and largely off the back of the first 3 minutes. He had 3 centre-bounce clearances, and Hawthorn went 3 goals up before. He went and had a breather with 17:50 on the clock. So he'd only played 2.5 minutes, had a breather, already put him 3 goals up. So it was a significant start. He's had 10 contested ball possessions, 8 ground balls in his 15 touches. He's been excellent. There's no doubt that he quietened off a little bit in the second quarter, but geez, the damage was done early.
Yeah, so they tried Berry, they tried Peatley, they tried Dawson, they went back to Berry. Second quarter, he wasn't as dominant.
No, but it's hard because he's getting through stoppages, which is quite difficult to man up. I think his movement around stoppages has been really good. The other thing that I found in the first quarter is both teams generated a spare, and I thought from last week and certainly the previous week against Hawthorn, it was their inability to move the ball. And I think what Adelaide came into this game, and it was clear to us watching the game, is they wanted to go quick from turnover and certainly utilise that spare, enabling to either go to the open side or to go and use that spare. So one again, defensive stability, really, really good. But right now, they are going to the open side. You can see all those players spreading to the open side to try and challenge this Hawthorn defence. And I thought it was really effective in the first turn. They've got great looks going forward to the ball. Scored a couple of goals from back up, which has been an issue. But Worrell had a fantastic first quarter. We'll talk about him in a little bit, but they wanted to go quick, and that was obvious from an early point.
They gave up 6 intercept marks, didn't they? Which is a win. 28 last week, Gaz, against Collingwood, so that's an improvement.
So I just thought that in the last 5 or 6 minutes of that second quarter, they got going again. I thought they were too slow, Adelaide. First quarter good, second quarter conservative along the boundary, starting to open up a bit in the second quarter. What's the speed of ball telling us, Bucks?
Yeah, well, Hawthorn's response to that extra number was to say, well, we're not going to go that fast because it's getting intercepted and it's speeding up and fueling Adelaide's offence. So what we witnessed, we've looked at speed of ball movement, so this is time. So this is how long the ball sits in the Hawthorn players' hands before being used, either by hand or by foot, and any direction. So that was really tic-tac footy, 132 at the start, and I reckon they deliberately slowed down as a response to the structure of Adelaide and said, well, we're going to wait until we can equalise with that.
Big change.
Well, we're talking about a high transition team in Hawthorn that love that offence and that high ping pong footy, but they've decided that it's going to be in our best interest just to control the ball use, go into an offence that we think is ahead of their defence, because some of the Crows' backs are looking vulnerable, and then play the game in our front half.
They had to, because apart from centre bounce dominance, Hawthorn, they hadn't been able to get territory.
No, they did. That's 100% right. I'm looking at the other side of the coin. I'm worried about this Adelaide team. They've kicked 3 goals in a half a footy. Again, they had to rely on forward 50 stoppage to find goals in the first quarter. So their 2 of the 3 goals in the first quarter came from forward 50 stoppage, which is a weakness, an area of great weakness and vulnerability for Hawthorn. And so that's a good result. But apart from that, they've got to get moving. They've got to find a way. They can't just rely on scores from forward 50 stoppage if they're going to win this game and progress to a prelim final.
Well, it was a better result. I mean, they haven't been able to score from those forward 50s. So you're right. You are right, Gaz. You need to find other scoring avenues, and they don't look like they can put chains of outside of those transitions that you showed, Geordie. They haven't been able to put chains of possession together and connect going inside. So they are going to rely on this at the moment.
They need more territory. 22 inside 50s. It's not going to cut it, is it? 22 inside 50s they've had. No. Last week, the Giants had 72 for the game against the Hawks.
And Hawthorn defended 72.
They did. So if you only allow them to, they only have to defend 22. I think this is the best defence in the competition, Gaz. Hawthorn's defence. They are magnificent the way they work together, and they help each other, and they intercept and they spoil. So, they need a lot more territory.
Would have been in trouble without Josh Worrell.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so we spoke about he was quite often the spare behind the ball, and it was Hawthorn did find it really hard to transition the ball. They switched the ball a couple of times, and Adelaide really numbed it off. So their exits weren't as obvious, which forced them to go long down the line. So this, I think, prompted the change in ball movement. Okay, so they're going to have a spare down the line. Worrell was on most occasions 5 intercept possessions in Q1. That's a big number. Let's equalise and let's see what they've got from this moment. I think if Adelaide, the conversations around half-time will certainly be how they transition the ball. They can't win it at stoppage. How do they transition? So Wangan Miller becomes important. I think their half-forwards become important, and that would be the game in the third term.
How you transition and why you transition. You transition to score. Don't transition just to protect yourself on turnover.
Yep.
This is your last roll of the dice, Adelaide. You're out. 3 goals ain't cutting it against this Hawthorn side. Johnny Ralph is the newsbreaker. It's been a big news day, Ralphie. Melbourne have found themselves a new senior coach.
They certainly have. It is Stephen King, the outsider in this race. It must be said, the Geelong assistant coach and premiership player. Now, Nathan Buckley was amongst those that was overlooked, but the plot does thicken. So as Nathan told us in the pre-match, he certainly asked for more time from Paul Guerra, the club's chief executive. Pardon me. They said they needed to move on with their process, and so that means potentially, pardon me, maybe Tasmania's gain out of this whole process is Nathan Buckley. He will meet with this football club on Tuesday. I wonder whether Nathan Buckley has been invigorated by this entire process.
You got the taste for it, Bucks? Just we won't dwell on it too much, but has it got a little bit? Have you got a nostrils flared?
I've lurched from one process to another. What's the go? It's congratulations to Melbourne. They've done very well to get their man, and we'll leave it at that.
All right, let's go back to Johnny Ralph. Ralphie, we know our man Eddie Betts has been involved with the Collingwood Footy Club indirectly through some work with Bobby Hill.
Yeah, that's right. The big story today was Brodie Mychak out of the Collingwood training session, so 7 days ahead of a massive preliminary final. He looked lame, it must be said, at that training session. Now, Bobby Hill sparkled through that session. Jeremy Howe was also impressive as well. Eddie, tell us about being the secret weapon for Bobby Hill. How have you impacted him? How is he going? And do you think that the Collingwood senior players would be keen for him to play in a preliminary final?
I wouldn't say a secret weapon, Ralphie. That's just who I am as a person. I care about these young players, and it is hard for Bobby being away from family, being isolated. There were things that are not going your way, and he has been at training, so I've been in contact with him every single day, and just encouraging him just to go to training, work hard, get your fitness up. He wants to play footy. I've been down to 4 training sessions and watched him play, and he is absolutely flying down there. So he's doing really well. He's in a great mental space. He's feeling good about himself, and he wants to play footy.
And you'd pick him?
I would pick him because no one can play forward pocket better than what Bobby Hill can at the Collingwood Football Club. You know, and I even said to him, you could be a two-time Norm Smith medalist if you just get yourself down there, train hard, and don't give him an excuse not to pick you.
There you go. Big decisions ahead for the Collingwood Football Club, guys.
19, thank you, Ralphie. Go and have a lozenge and Eddie Betts. Very brave. 19 points to go, the margin at the moment in favour of the Hawthorn Footy Club. This is it, playing for the lottery, Adelaide. What do they need to do?
I think around clearances, I think you're right. They did a good job in locking away John Newcomb. So that becomes important. If both sides can't really transition the ball from their back half, I think that becomes really important.
Fogarty, Walker, Thilthorpe, the big three, got to get busy.
I think they've relied so much on their intercept game from their defenders, and their defenders look vulnerable. Mark Keane's not intercepting quite as confidently. He's not going at the contest quite as confidently. Weddle's causing them real headaches when he slides down from the fat side. If they can't defend better across halfback and start their offense from there, I don't think their forwards get a crack at it.
Too clunky for mine, the Crows. I'm confident on a Hawthorn supporter sitting on. I think if they can start to cash in, some of their forward movements should have ended up in goals. Late in that second quarter, the Hawks, they looked the better team to me, guys.
Ooh, preliminary final awaits the winner of this one. Imagine if the Hawks go through up against the Cats, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Have they got a shot to fire the Adelaide Crows? 19 points down at half-time. Be back. Massive second half coming from the Adelaide Oval.
You're watching Finals Footy on Fox.
All right, there we go. Bit of a wrap-up there from the commentators. Hey, James, how you going? Tough ass. Crows have got to lift. They certainly do got to lift, but 19 points isn't much. The Hawks put on 3 goals in the first 3 or 4 minutes of the game. So outside of there, she's been pretty level tug-of-war game. But don't write the Crows off just yet. 3 goals is nothing in this game of footy just yet. Who'd they say? Stephen King to coach the D's. Well, there we go. He's about to write a new story, a few new chapters there for Melbourne. Could be a revised version of it. It could be. Hey, just before we get back to the game, 4 minutes. Let's have a look at the stats as disposal getters for your favourite players. If you want to have a little bit of a peekaboo at them, Josh Ward for Hawthorn leads the way on 17. 8 kicks, 9 handballs, 4 clearances. Rory Laird jumps up the table. He's now on 16, next best and best for the Adelaide Crows. 10 kicks, 6 handballs, 2 clearances. John Newcomb, he's having a ring-a-ding-ding game. He had a ripping first quarter, 5 centre clearances in that opening term. While 15, he's had 5 and 10, 7 clearances all up so far. Miller going well on 14, Josh Well on 12. Sicily, the grumpy old man, there we go, he's on 12 with Hardwick and Josh Battle there for the Hawks. Dawson on 11, just a 1 clearance, 1 behind. There we go. Anyone you want to have a ask who their stats are, let us know. We'll bring it up and we'll let you know where they go. Saligo's on 9 there for the Crows. Conor McDonald, just a 9, 6 and 3 he's had. Brosia on 9. There was one player I was going to check. Wanted to see how Impey was going tonight, if I can come across him myself. I haven't seen him yet in here. My gosh, where is he? There we go. Alex Neil-Bullen, he's had 8 touches there for the Crows, just the 1 clearance. Sam Butler for the Hawks, he's at 8 with Sam Berry. Carl Amon all on 8. Nick Watson, as I said, 7 disposals there. Oh, there's Jarman Impey. Normally been tearing the field up the last few weeks with the Hawks. He's only had the 7 this evening, all kicks, 7 kicks and a couple of marks. That is it for him. As I said, Riley Thilthorpe needs to get into the game. He is the secret weapon. He needs to be unleashed. He's just had the 6 disposals, 4 kicks, 2 handballs. He's done a little bit of ruck work. He's had 5 hitouts and a goal. Gunston, tell you what, he's one that can certainly shine as well for the Hawks if he gets the ball in hand. 6 touches, 4 kicks, 1 goal, 1. Sleepwalkers was a great book by King. There we go. Maybe they'll be sleepwalking again next year, the D's. Taylor Tex Walker yet to hit the major. Oh my gosh, come on, Tex. 5 touches, 2 behinds. Moab Chol, well, the same for the Hawks. Danger Man, 5 touches, just the 1 behind for him. Let's just have a quick look at the team stats, folks, before we get back. We're only a minute away. There we go. It's plus 16 to the Hawks. Disposal overall. Of course, the Adelaide Crows been inside 22 times now up until half time. Hawthorn have restricted them to just 22, which is quite good. 9 scoring shots. Hawthorn, 31 inside 50s for their 13 scoring shots, going inside 9 more times. Efficiency, both reasonably good at 74-72. Free kicks up a little bit in that second term. 12-8. Crows +4 in the free kicks. Hawthorn, they're +3 in the hit-outs. The clearances, Hawks are +5. The centre clearances, it's a telling factor, isn't it? There we go. 8-2. And, of course, the Hawthorn player getting 5 in that opening term. 13-12, pretty tight in the stoppage clearances around the ground. Contested, Hawks contesting a little bit harder there with 66-52. They're +14. They'll be happy with that. Turnovers pretty similar as uncontested. Just looking at the marks now, 54-45. It's a little bit more chipping. Hawks moving the ball by hand pretty good. Marks inside 50, as we were saying. Really not getting the delivery down there are the Crows. Of course, not a great deal of space to work. The Hawk back 6 are doing a great job there. And, of course, the Hawks have got 6 marks inside forward 50. Let's have a look at this tackle count. I tell you what, this is super duper low. That's just super low for both of these sides. 26-25, 3-8 inside 50 tackles. Hawks doing better then. Got to get that pressure on. Put the pressure on. It'll cause the turnovers. And that is what your team needs. All right, let's change that. Let's get back down to the action. And we will take us into the second half. I tell you what, folks, it's going to be a ring-a-ding-ding second half. Who's going to win? Is the game going to open up? We hope so. Let's hope for some goal-scoring sprees here. Let's hope the goals flow freely. But it's the Hawks by 19. Let's head down to the third quarter. We'll head in for the bounce.
They look ready to take their chances, Hawthorn side. A prelim final awaits here. A shot at glory. 3 goals and a half. Ain't getting it done.
Something's got to change for the home team. And the time is now. Goalless in the second term. They trailed by 19 points. Gave up the first 3 goals of the game. They can't afford to let that happen again. A half of football remains in the 2025 season for either Adelaide or Hawthorn. The Hawks take a 19-point advantage into the third quarter. After the rucks, it's Dawson. The Adelaide captain, something to get behind. Very deliberate, but a grubber from O'Brien. Bowled over with Sicily and Walker. Ward goes to work. Warple, look at O'Brien, redoubled his efforts. Still the Hawks keep it away from immediate danger. Ward again, outstanding in the first half. Amon, a path to goal, a path to Gunston.
Well, they got the centre clearance they were looking for, the Adelaide Crows. The problem was the end of the handball chain was Riley O'Brien. The big ruckman couldn't kick the ball inside 50. He's had a shank. Look at the ball drop, it goes sideways. Hits him on the ankle. That was a disastrous kick. You can see the frustration on Matthew Nix's face. They got the clearance, but then they wasted it.
I think it was the gripper on his hand, because after he kicked it, he was wiping his hand on the grass.
Yep.
Kicked the first goal of the night. Jack Gunston, the safest pair of hands to guide through the first and the third for the Hawks. And there's every reason to think that they are on their way to the preliminary final unless Adelaide do something different.
It's absolutely brilliant from Hawthorn, but go back to the Tex Walker effort at centre-half forward here. You've got to be better than this. So we know that this man just hacked that, but then the effort here straight after half-time, you just can't go to ground and lie over the top of a footy like that. I know it's hard. It's been great, Tex. He's playing 301st game. Your whole damn season's on the line here, and the ball goes up the other end. Jack Gunston gets separation from Marqueen. Way too easy, and the Hawks are on their way again.
Just got caught ball watching Marqueen. He didn't see his opponent peel off to the left. And with Carl Amon kicking the footy, you do not want to give your opponent much space.
These are big minutes. Crows haven't kicked a goal since the 21st minute of the opening term. This was when Collingwood got hold of them last week after half-time. Berry commits himself to the cause.
Now's the moment, Jared. Now is the moment. That's why the Walker effort, maybe it's harsh on him. He looked old and slow all of a sudden.
They're trying to do it with Dawson, Berry and Saligo in the middle. Newcomb and Warple the other way. Berry sticks the tackle and wins holding the ball.
That's the response.
Yeah, that's a good second effort from Berry. He goes back onto Newcomb and he makes Newcomb give the ball off and then he follows up with the tackle.
Miller is the linked out run. He plays it for Thilthorpe. Well-weighted ball.
And this is the matchup we talked about all night. He gets separation.
Onto the lead, Gaz. Just on, kick it out in front of him.
He's had separation all night.
Yep.
So go to him. Isolate him. If it's not your night, if it's not Texas night or Floggy, get out of the road and isolate this matchup. It's your best way forward. And maybe you just say to Riley Thilthorpe, you're going to go and ruck 5 to 10 minutes a quarter. The rest of the time, do your work from 0 to 30.
Yep.
And so into the hands of the big guy. Thilthorpe's kick is a beauty. It ends the drought for Adelaide. It gives them something to clutch to.
It's not complicated. You're not going through unless you kick 10 plus goals for the night, at least.
He's the man, Gaz. He is the man that can win this game for the Adelaide Crows almost off his own boot if they supply him enough football. And that's no disrespect to anyone that's playing on him, but if you put it out in front of him, he is unstoppable because of where he's marking the footy. You can't get up there without infringing. And now what we are seeing, his first couple of set shots have been pure, striking them beautifully.
So now what you want from him, as you look down to that forward line now, is him to just take control of the whole joint.
Yep.
And that is, if you want to be a bit arrogant about it, or if you get out of my way and let me get to work here. Or if you're not going to do that, get on board.
And then hunt back in when he's competing because he's not going to get out marked.
Looks different, sounds different. Back to 19. Back to the middle. Back to Meek down to Warple.
Thanks, James. James, it's on, mate. Riley.
O'Brien this time. Ward stayed on his feet, jars out of there, gave Adelaide a chance. Keys desperate to take that. Lost his footing, didn't help. Hawks pressure, immense, effective and rewarded.
Well, I'll say it's harsh, but he was on the ground and he chose to take possession.
Hardwick continuing on his stellar form. Surely they'll never put him forward ever again. What a defender. To Newcomb wasn't far enough. Hand was forced, but he makes the necessary adjustments. Kicks it where he imagined there might be a teammate, and there was. Warple not close enough to go, but close enough to find Jack Gunston.
Sometimes you just go, hey.
Come back here.
Newcomb buys himself time in the middle as well as anyone, and then
Jordan Dawson just sort of waddling off a little bit over here. Don't know if he's got an injury. No, it doesn't look great. Doesn't look normal.
And just look at this mark from Warple here. So I don't know whether he had supreme faith in him, but he's good enough to win the one-on-one right here and kept going.
His 549th goal. Jack Gunston. Still an absolute gun. He's kicked his third. And the Hawks seem to have the answer to every question that is being posed.
Well, we spoke about this game at length pre-game, about two midfields that probably don't sit at the top of the tree in terms of the competition's best midfields. And was one going to be able to get the onus over the other? It's Hawthorn's ability, in particular to win centre bounce clearances, that is hurting the Adelaide Crows. That's the separation in the game.
Yep, 8 to 3. Newcomb was the one that just got it rolling. And then the finish there was magnificent. And now Gunston's getting a good look at the other end. Maybe in a way, this might work for Adelaide. It might be the best way forward for Adelaide, because if it keeps getting to the margin like this, they've got no choice.
Got to throw caution to it.
They've got to go. But they've got the answers, the Hawks.
Jake Fraser McGurk knows a thing or two about being in the middle of Adelaide Oval, cheering his Hawks on. Meek puts it out in front of Butler. And off the ground, Worrell was having none of it. Curtin combines. Michael Annie puts it out in front of Peatling. Confronted by Nash. Weak on the hand pass. Berry, though, found a way. Gives it back to Michael Annie, dashing through. Tagged as he went to kick it. Taylor to get around Impey and couldn't. Did release, though. Smith onto it. Needs a bit of support and has it. Worrell doubles back and he fed the hand pass through. Michael Annie took it on and got caught. Butler stuck the tackle. Back into dispute. Saligo dragged off it. Hardwick slammed the boot through it. Lewis, clever tap. Tries to open it up for more and got it back. Lewis for Gunston. Here's irrepressible, the veteran forward, and he likes the look of McDonald.
Gee, that's a good kick from Gunston, because McDonald was leading hard to the pocket, and he kicked it almost a metre behind him, so he had to stop and get the best angle for the next set shot. But quick movement, really good contest from Mixels, who then got to his boot, got up from on the ground and got involved in the play again a second time.
3 goals in the first half of an elimination final. Colin McDonald gets his moment in a semi. It's no good.
We're lauding these, Newcombe and Gunston as we should. They've been brilliant. Impey lays the tackle that has to be made.
Yep.
Butler lays the tackle that has to be made. They're all doing their bit here, the Hawks.
Both teams have left a few shots out there. Particularly the Crows in the second term. Worrell wonky off the boot and hangs a little longer. There's a bit going on with the rucks. And the whistle goes Meek's way.
Big hole again, this right forward pocket.
Lewis and Weddle make their claims. McDonald tucks it under there. And returns it to the umpire. Also getting some work done and some communication with the coach as well. Peakley, Walpole, Meek. Couldn't find a teammate, so he just bangs in hope. Ends up putting it behind.
He's going to light the fuse to the Adelaide Crows. He's going to take it on. He's going to be a bit of a risk taker that just sets him up. Because right now, Hawthorn is shutting everything down.
7 points is a big margin when you've only got 3 on board yourself. Fogarty has held by Scrimshaw before acceptance.
He's got some bronchies.
Back here. Back here, thank you. Time back on.
Fogarty snatches the side of the centre square. Perry, quick release, Soligo checks his kick for Phil Thorpe. House gets a hand in, ball ricochets around. Battle onto it first. Gets it away to Butler, holding up his end of the bargain. Wards brings it up the line, and Worrell couldn't hang on. Watson just did enough. McDonald still on the spot. Moore, Scrimshaw, Nash. Got it going forward to McDonald. He's got the runner out wide in Watson. It floats into his arms. What might he conjure? Watson steady, shoots and misses.
Ooh, they are pressing hard.
So hard. They've got a team full of smart ball users. They don't miss much, Hawthorn. They take the opportunities when they present themselves.
That little subtle shake of the head said a lot for Matthew Nicks. There's only so much he can do from up in the box.
It's good identification of that matchup. You're Curtin against Ward, no chance in the air.
So they're looking inside. They're looking to be a little bit different here. There's a corridor open here, but no one's going to it.
Is it attainable for Michael Lanny? Pushed back here, so forced to play it wide. Again, Curtin has to show his marking ability. Up he goes, off to Soligo in no time. What a grub ball. Difficult than it should have been for Pevler. Picked it up beautifully. One scoop will do, and the kick goes down forward. Oh, it was there for a Shelley, wasn't it? The crowd were just waiting for it to land in his hands, but Weddle again.
And that's Weddle dropping back in defence from his wing position. He saw the danger, and he cut it off a certain mark and shot for goal.
Josh Shelley, when your eyes went there straight away, you thought he's going to mark this man, and then Weddle just appears from nowhere.
Hawks by 28. Phil Thorpe coming.
That's another example of just doing things right. Every now and then you watch a game and there's no one there, and that'll go through and you go, oh, how's that happen? No, James Sisley's good enough to get a hand on it.
2 goals to 1 thus far.
Yeah, Weddle's out here, 1 out on his wing with Isaac coming.
And that is where the ball is coming.
It's too easy. You have to know that that's coming.
Weddle is going for Impey in a 1-on-1. Keane will arrive as the third man in, but Gunston's still in the play. Impey works it forward to Chol. Gunston still viable. Chol turns and goes to the wild, but got it away. McDonald in the pocket, smashed away by Worrell.
Worrell is Weddle. Worrell and Weddle, they're playing similar roles for each other. Worrell obviously in the back half, Weddle's doing it off the wing, but just the athleticism of both of them.
Set up for 50 stoppage for the Hawks. Already leading by 27 points.
Phil Thorpe in the ruck now, so they lose him from the front half, which again, whilst Joel can match him in the ruck, it's advantage of Hawthorn.
It allows them to set up with Hardwick loose in defence.
The understudies do go to work in the ruck. Chol got it to his boots. It flops for McDonald, who pops it through. And the lead just keeps growing for Hawthorn.
Well, that's even worse. So you take your main man from the front half and put him in the ruck, and then he gets monstered by the other part-time ruckman to set up McDonald. This is just about out of control here.
He made a really quick decision, Con McDonald, Gaz. He wasn't prepared to roll the dice to see if the umpire was going to pay the mark. Had it travelled 15 metres. He wasn't 100% sure. It would have been a set shot. 15 out directly in front. He goes, I haven't heard the whistle. I'm not going to take the risk. He just threw it on the boot. A really good decision in the end.
33 points up against the side who's kicked 31 points for the game. It's just about out of control. Hawthorn, absolutely brilliant. On the same page, they use each other. They take the right option. They find the free man. And now it's back into the middle of the ground where they've been dominant in an area of the ground they love.
Sub's been made. Once again, they take off a key forward in Mitch Lewis. Jaff, fifth time this year he's been the sub. He's activated now. Newcomb out of the middle. We've heard that before. D'Ambrosio teasing Curtin. That's a picture of the whole game at the moment. They work it forward. Battle. Restraints on.
It's another tackle that has to be made, and it's made. Nothing flashy, nothing special. Do what you're expected to do at the right time.
Dawson out there now. These are desperate times already for the Adelaide Crows. Child pulled it out of the ruck, but couldn't get a substantial amount of movement of the ball. And Riley Philthorpe trying to get him, face him. Look at those Hawthorn fans that have made the trip.
Now, you follow this Hawthorn team anyway. If you're a Hawthorn supporter.
And Sam Mitchell said he didn't quite realise how raucous they could be until last week. Another road trip. Philthorpe can't do it all, but he feels like he has to. Keys jars away from Pedler. Nash was onto it. Butler going one way, Smith the other. No ground given. Unflinching both teams, but the Hawks at the moment are the more powerful force. And listen to those Hawthorn fans. They might be the minority. They are making their voices heard.
Plus 19 contested footy. That's where they love to be, this Hawthorn team.
Chol and Philthorpe still, and Chol has his way again to the hot spots. Awkward ball to deal with. Worrell hasn't got it. Cummings springs a boot at it. Hawks muster their numbers to it. Ward, good gather. Over to Gunston, searching, popped it up, not quite. Laird just got it out of the hands of Watson. Keane was wobbling with the footy. Gunston forward one way or another. Pinkling came through. Off to Worrell, out to Laird. He's just desperate for a target up the line. And Pedler punches his fist in disgust as he can't be that.
Oh, it's getting to desperate stage here. I mean, they can get Riley O'Brien back on the ground. Philthorpe's doing everything he possibly can, but they've got to get him in the front half, but they can't get the ball in the front half. Taylor Walker looks like his season's come to an end. He's really battling. Fogarty can't have an impact. The Hawks have been superb.
There is still time. We haven't quite reached the midpoint of this third quarter. Philthorpe the tap, Jaff the tackle, Saligo onto it, had a metre, turns it into two, and kicks the ball with a perfect waiting for a Shelley.
Gee, that's a great kick. Absolutely brilliant from Saligo.
And he is happy to share the moment with Fogarty.
And this is the man you want to get the ball to. He's one of the best kicks in the team. Just a little bit of confusion between Sicily and Go down back. No one cut off the leading lane.
It's just their fourth mark inside the forward 50. And see how easy it was when you can get a little bit of separation, a little bit of time.
The one thing we have seen in games this year, and shifts of momentum. A good kick here could change everything.
Has to start somewhere. Has to start with Darcy Fogarty. He's always had the goal-kicking power. He just had to bring it to the finals field.
What they will remember, or not remember, what they will be drawing on, and I'm sure they'll be reminded of, is the 42-point margin that Hawthorn put on the nose of the GWS Giants last week, and they got headed.
Yep.
So they can't get scored against, or they did get scored against heavily. in a row last week. So Thilthorpe kicks a goal, Fogarty kicks a goal. The big forwards that have just struggled to have any sort of impact. So Saligo from stoppage, magnificent. The kick, this is a smart footballer, Shelley. Try and get a kick on Blake Hardwick at the best of times as well.
So the most important thing in Adelaide's season right now is this centre bounce clearance. That's where GWS got momentum back against the Hawks when they kicked those goals in a row. Centre bounce into the 6-6-6, bang, bang, bang. They've got to win this clearance for Crows.
Dawson has taken responsibility for Newcomb. And it's the first choice rucks to duel over it. 27 points in Hawthorn's favour. Dawson comes through. Crows go forwards. Out in front of Berry. It's a long road to get there. Sicily stays with him and wins the footy. So the Hawks skipper, Dallas, touched away by Walker.
So the first part, you get greedy. Yeah. The first pass is great, but it doesn't go inside 50. The ball goes wide to the boundary, and those early ones that Newcomb was getting were going straight down the middle of the ground. But you'll take the win.
And set up from a stoppage. With a field position to play with for the Crows. On the move, Peatling couldn't handle it. Ward's kick was smothered. Ricochet, Meat, D'Ambrosio on the back foot, but able to get it away to Nash. Tackle. That's holding the ball. Now he got it to his boot in the nick of time. And Newcomb is able to rush it away. Steadies himself for the kick for more. Joel is running toward the 50. McDonald's is shallow targets. Ward pumps it in deep. Gunston rises with Joel. Gunston, the veteran, up to Jack in the pockets. Can't get hold of it. 28 minutes.
So Lewis comes off. Weddle, without the run through the middle all day, he now goes into the forward 50.
As they did last week.
Yeah, he played a key role in those last, particularly the last 20 minutes.
Smooth on the return. Enough into Laird and then off to Worrell again. Scrimshaw had the sights. Fogarty backed his marking ability in and he gets to his feet, but man, he couldn't release it, unfortunately, from an Adelaide point of view. And again, the Hawthorn players, 1, 2, 3, and whoever needs to be called on, there to be at service to their team. The brown and gold lead by 28. Jack Scrimshaw, the next Gold Coast son, flags it up for more. Couldn't take it, gone past everyone. Worrell, Laird to Smith, nothing's easy. Was it high?
It had to be.
It's the tackle pressure those Manic right now.
But the emphasis now is on Chenkov Giap to come on and pick up the pace of this game. They've been tackling beautifully and maintaining repeat inside 50. He's got him cold there. He's got to stick that tackle.
Smith down the line. Meek with both hands wrapped around it.
He's a good player, this bloke.
Yep. He sent it back off the boot of Impey. Joel, good work. Eyes to the footy from Worrell. Where would they be without him? Smith sets Miller on a path. To Murray, it's not perfect. Taylor, again slowed, but they have a man on the wing. What can Neil Bourne set up?
He pumps the kick too strong. He missed Pedler and he threaded it straight to battle.
No connection at the moment.
$1 million kick for Butler. Laird charged it down. Has support from Miller. Miller brings it back for Taylor, works it around to Peatling, can't find the way forward initially. Laird and Peatling, he can spire out on the wing. Jag and kick forward again, knocked away from Curtin this time. And Warple brushed apart. D'Ambrosio set it deep. Gunston was behind Keane. Keane has it, he's confronted, he's been wobbly at times. Finds the way out and makes the kick to Warren.
But nothing down the line. Got nothing down the lines. Has to go back. They've got to keep probing like this anyway and move this Hawthorn defence around. They've been superb one-on-one defensively, Hawthorn.
Well, Brody Smith, so much risk involved in that kick. It's a free kick to the Hawks. Taken immediately. It's down to Gunston again.
Slow down, take 30 seconds and absolutely give you a chance of kicking the goal. It's funny how this guy, the way he plays, just complements the way Hawthorn played beautifully. So on turnover, the first thing they do is they look short to see whether he's coming at the ball. And more often than not, against the trend of most forwards these days, he will hit up at you.
You're not meant to be this good at 33 years of age. For his 550th as a Hawk. They just can't get past this guy. Hawthorn has the goal-kicking power, the Crows don't. And the lead is back to 34 points. And we salute Jack Yaston.
Yeah, sorry, he's back to his accurate best. He disappeared for a couple of seasons. Kicking went off the boil, but he's found the rhythm. He's found it again. Look, they identified a really good target in the middle ground, Adelaide, but unfortunately Luke Pedler, trying to protect his man, just infringed on Josh Battle to keep him out of the contest. It cost him a free kick, and then they had Hawks everywhere.
He's got 69 goals for the year now for Gunston.
Yeah, it's frightening, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. And just doesn't look like slowing up. The contested possession is a really telling number in this game. The gap between the two just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And right now, it's plus 24. A contested ball. That's head over the footy. That's finals footy. That's what you need.
Game high lead at 34 points. Newcomb's after it again. Taylor couldn't quite hold him up. Yes, he did. He wins holding the ball. I said he's got a fist to it.
He thought he did. Got to go.
Taylor wheels and goes. He plonks it up for Thilthorpe and Walker to have a flyer. No mark, and Impey's there underneath. When is he not? Hardwick clears the danger. Butler and Warple trying to figure out up the line. Dawson's got other ideas. Brings the Crows back forward. Pedler. Trying to get him into it. 3 last week. What's he thinking here?
Either he pulls it to the top of the square or he genuinely thinks there's a chance.
All eyes to Luke Pedler. Has he got this kick in the repertoire? No, he doesn't.
Touched off the boot.
So dumped away by Battle. Butler's there for a counter-attack. And he just flopped the kick. It's up and down the mine shaft if ever there was one. Neil Bourne around the Laird, around the perimeter. Miller up, plays it out for Tex.
See, they had an opportunity to clear. The kick from Butler was a shocker, wasn't it? It went straight up in the air. And he didn't really appear to be under that much pressure. And now it's Adelaide's chance to get repeat inside 50s. And wouldn't they love to get this man involved? Kicking goals, doing what he does best.
Well, for the first time, they're starting to get a bit of repeat back inside the forward 50. So they're taking some marks in dangerous spots.
These are the goals Tex kicked in that final quarter when last they played. He doesn't have it again. Meeks trying to get it through. He's tantalising on the line. Hardwick hasn't got it through yet either. Keys with a good tackle. Japped into Pedler. They appeal and get it.
Well, that's extraordinary play that you don't rush that through from behind.
It's the first
absolutely ridiculous behind.
Yeah, it's the first real
just tap it through, guys.
Inexcusable mistake they made.
Pedler takes full toll. And again the Crows just tack on.
So they stay within distance, Jared, there's no question about it, but it's hard work, but that's okay. You've got to stay and hope that you can get things back on your terms a little bit. We know they can score, we know they can score heavily, but this is the first time Hawthorn have looked a little bit amateurish for the evening.
Tap it through.
Tap that one through. Get this one
through. Sheep up. Repeat pressure from the Crows. That's how you build momentum. Little steps. Just start forcing the opposition into mistakes. Now you go back to that centre bounce clearance we talk about. Butter it up with another centre bounce clearance and get territory going your way again.
So 4-1 this quarter in terms of centre bounce. So they have just tilted that in their favour. So they need it again. They need to get field possession again. And they need to build a bit of pressure on Hawthorn.
The highest scoring quarter, which Adelaide needs, and they're going to get back. 28 points again is the margin. Thin but renewed hope for the home fans. Out of the middle, it's a must. It's Ward. He met the moment against Dawson to Newcomb to half forward. He's taken it wide. Call for the umpire here is insufficient.
So come back with momentum. Come back with some urgency. Corridor's open.
Isaac Cumming kicks into that corridor. Newcomb was ready and waiting though. Ginnivan with a grin and the perfect touch to Watson.
He's too far out, I think, Nick Watson. So he's got to be on your guard if you're an Adelaide defender.
I reckon he'll have a crack. The kick was there in the middle of the ground. He just needed to pull it quicker, and he just hung it in the air long enough for Newcomb to close him down.
So you've got to stand someone to the right, to what's his right of the mark. He's going to arc out.
2 goals too, including a finals classic. He's not a big man, but he is a big kick, but the launch is to the right. He's had 5 scores tonight, Lewis.
29-point margin. Heading toward three-quarter time. Keane. Is it stolen by Scrimshaw? Implanted himself in front of Walker. Releases the hand pass to Hardwick. Searching for a target. He's hit that hard and low, and it found its way to Moore, who got it on to Butler, who serves it through for a goal. The swing goal late in the third term. 35 points.
It's another chaos kick inside 50. Those ground balls, guys, they often result in scores, don't they?
I love them.
You can't set up to defend that.
And Moore's hands were just the lead here. Let's have a look at the give. This bloke, Jack Scrimshaw, you have a look at this if we see the marking contest. He just dominated Tex Walker, and it comes back in here. It's a bit ugly and it's a bit dangerous. And then you'll see Dylan Moore just squirt that out. That is the selfless mantra of this group. There was no thought of him trying to break clear and have a shot himself. He just instinctively gave it. And Scrimshaw, they just flocked to Scrimshaw, who took the intercepting mark in front of Walker. And they loved it. They've had the answers. They've had the answers all night, Jared. Every single time that it looks like they maybe are being challenged, they find a way to score.
Meek runs around to try and block O'Brien, who still gets the tap. Oh, no way out for him that time. Keys. Barris, favoured by the bounce. Takes that and sends it back in his own sweet style to Meek, who's already feeding it to Newcomb. What a night he's having. Takes it wide to McDonald. Leads are made and honoured. We've seen that before. Gunston takes the mark in the pocket.
That pocket has been open for Hawthorn to do what they want. Jack Gunston.
I know Eddie's got a pocket named after him, Gaz, but
he can have this after tonight. He has taken, just have a listen to this, he's taken 6 uncontested marks in the forward 50. Adelaide have taken 6 marks in forward 50 in total.
This for a 5th goal from Jack Gunston. He's got a few points.
Well, he does. He plays a little bit off his opponent, Mark Keane, doesn't he? He gives you that opportunity, but he's got to understand horses to horses. Think about the type of player you're playing on. He's not going to beat you in the air. He's going to beat you on the lead.
Kick-in keeps coming to the same place. O'Brien to the front, didn't take the mark. He might be able to release, not successfully though. And Spills the way of coming, and the way to Fogarty, and out to Curtin as the Crows look for some run from the wing. Walker presents out in front of Battle. Keys wants it up inside the 50. Oh, it's not much job, although not adequately dealt with. And Philthorpe's got a chance around the corner. He's kicked his 3rd. And he is a lone hand up front.
Oh, you can see he's upset. Sam Mitchell, that should have been an intercept mark for Carl Amon, and I think he just panicked a little bit. He didn't understand exactly how much space he had. He could have leapt up with both hands. He tried to go the big fist, and he didn't get much on it.
Righto, so no more rucking for Philthorpe.
No.
If you're going to win this, keep it inside 50. Even here, I thought his positioning was too high with Barris, but he gets back in behind him. And Barris is more watching a little bit. From here, I like that. I like Riley Philthorpe from this position. A little bit of luck that Butler made a bad decision and Barris is on the back pedal, but he's your best way forward. Set it all night. Don't let him go back into the ruck. Find someone else to give Riley, the big fella, Riley O'Brien a spell.
back to 3rd. They get closer than 5 goals. The last 1 minute 13 more. Can't prevail out of there.
They're up high again. Fogarty's the deepest forward with Sicily. I'd love him to swing that around and have Philthorpe deep.
There it is.
Barris.
And he throws it from his bootstraps.
He did, didn't he?
It's a very odd throw up in the air. Ward, a huge night as well. Gunston's still leading. Worrell is, as I said, where their defence would be without him, you never know. Kick goes up to the wing. Philthorpe again. Barris was ready and waiting that time. Newcomb on the up. Back to Meek, to Barris. Slightly faulty handball to Hard, but put him under pressure. And Shelley's tackle was good. 38 seconds and counting. Phil thought not the kick he wanted. And it's out of bounds on the full.
We've made 5 goals. Three-quarter time looming.
Got to find a way to take 30 seconds off the clock here, the Hawks. They're going to go long up the line. They've got to get the context.
Just haven't won a quarter in there. 7 so far.
That's a strange kick from Cecily. He's got the ruckman further afield and he kicks it low.
Kalani up in the Walker direction. Enough to get a hand to it. To really create from it. Saligo throws that ball.
Hawthorn. Carl Amon.
Last of the seconds. Surely to be protected here. Sees them tick down. The Hawks grow their lead from 19 points to 30 points at the final change. They have 1 foot in the preliminary final. And the Crows got one last stand. After a disappointing 7 quarters of finals footy so far, Matthew Nicks has to rouse them. It's not the time for calmness now. It's the time to lay it all on the line and see if they can muster something in front of this huge home crowd. The other side of the equation in Brisbane tomorrow night. It's the Lions and the Suns, the Q clash for the first time in a final series. We'll have it for you on Fox.
All right, 3/4 time. And I'll tell you what, folks. Well, this just looks about Hawthorn's game. Can the Crows come back 30 points behind, 5 goals? I don't know. Kicks SRB. Can't the Blues? Well, the Blues women team, I think they've won a game or so. So you can still follow the Blues in the AFLW. There we go. Tell you what, this 11-13-79, the Hawks getting the job done, 7-7-49. The Crows 30-point margin here at 3/4 time. Tell you what, at the drop of the ball, Hawthorn just seemed to be there. They just seem to be in the right positions. They're always creating space. Tell you what, Adelaide Crows, they're finding it hard. This again, just their delivery inside forward, 50. It's just not as elite as Hawthorn's. So it's looking like Eddie G. Next week, it could be Hawthorn taking on Geelong. Should be a ring-a-ding-ding game, that one. I'll tell you what. Probably both, I'd say both of those would be on the MCG, you would imagine, wouldn't you? Would that be Friday night, Saturday night game? I'd hope so. Or maybe Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. Maybe that'll be the way they'll go. We'll certainly find out after tomorrow what time the finals and where they'll be played next week, but I'm sure MCG. Of course, don't forget, folks, hey, tomorrow we've got the big clash up there in Queensland, whereas the Brisbane Lions taking on the Gold Coast Suns. That comes around tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Melbourne time. Look, folks, it doesn't really matter who wins that game because they're going to play off against Collingwood, and Collingwood will spank them, and then Collingwood will go into the grand final. So it's really who Collingwood's going to play in this year's grand final. Is it going to be Hawthorn, Adelaide or Geelong? That's what we're interested in. But that being said, it should be a pretty good game tomorrow night. So come along tomorrow night. Listen in on that game too. We'll be broadcasting that game for everyone to listen on in. And folks, don't forget, if you are a NRL supporter, NRL qualifying final, 6 3/4 minutes to go in the second half. Melbourne Storm leading by 2 points, 20-18 over the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. There we go. The Bulldogs, they got on their back 20, 6.5 minutes to go. 2 points up are Melbourne Storm. We're going for Storm there as well, but there we go. Hey, let's just have a little bit of a peek-a-boo at the goal scorers. This bloke is just, he's on fire. Jack Gunston, I tell you what, the older he gets, he's like a good wine. He just matures. 4 goals, 3, 14 disposals for Jack Gunston. Wowee. Couple of snaps and whatnot. That's where his misses or a tight angle, but geez, I tell you what, he doesn't often miss. Nick Watson with 2, Weddle with 1, Moore, McDonough, and who else? Sam Butler, Carl Lamont, they got singles for the Hawks. Riley Thilthorpe, well, he's got 3. Good to see, but he needs to kick about another 6 in this final quarter for the Crows to have a chance. Pedler, Peatling, Keys with 1, Fogarty. There we go. A little bit disappointing there so far from the Hawks. Just the leading disposal getter, because we're going to head back to the commentators and they'll take us into the final quarter. Joshy Ward from the Hawks leads away on 25. Josh Burrell for the Crows leads their way on 22. Jai Newcomb, 8 clearances, 22 touches there for the Hawks. There we go. Let's head back. That'll do for the stats for now. We're going to head back down to the commentators. I think they're back and they'll run us into the final quarter, where it's the Hawks by 30 points.
Of it right from the start, Eddie. Absolutely smashed Adelaide early. Contested possession, centre clearances. They've done it all, and it is theirs to lose. They got one leg into a prelim final at the moment. They really just got to steer the ship early in this last quarter and make sure they don't make too many mistakes. Adelaide are going to go and take the game on, aren't they, Ed?
Yeah, they have to. And it's going to start with Riley O'Brien in the middle. He needs to stay in that midfield this whole quarter, because the man who's going to win it from him is Riley Fieldtop. He needs to save his energy inside that forward 50.
Yep, Adelaide are going to have a crack. We'll see. They're either going to get blown out of the water or get a couple of goals early and it's game on.
Jack Gunston has taken 5 marks in that forward 50s, the most marks ever taken in a forward 50 in a final in a quarter. And how old is he? 42.
Yeah, there's Matty Nicks, a little bit
animated.
Yes,
he should be,
isn't he? Well, listen, there can only be one mantra for the Adelaide Crows. That is, we get the ball and we go. We go, we go, we go. We put pace on the ball and we go hard. And the flip side of that, once you start doing that, Gav, Hawthorn will want to slow things down. They don't want to play a fast game. So you'll find then a lot of long down the line kicks. And then you get the chance to win the ball back and you get it and you go.
Hawks been brilliant. They deserve to be where they are, and I think they might just have a foot in the prelim final. They've kicked 8 goals Adelaide in a game and 7 in 3 quarters in final. That ain't doing nothing. They've got to change it up forward of the ball. But right now, Hutto, the answers have been all with the brown and gold team.
Last quarters have been the Hawks' worst during the year. 13-11. They've lost games being in front on the road. They were very strong when it mattered last week. It's a 30-point margin. It's a very healthy buffer. But you never know in a final when there's so much on the line.
8th has never beaten first in a final series. It's been 10 years since the only 8th place team made it to a preliminary final. That was North Melbourne. And we well know that no minor premier has bombed out like this since 1983. Those are the terms of the final quarter. A place against Geelong in next week's preliminary final at stake. It's the Hawks with all the favours, 5 goals up. Laird releases, Taylor brushed the tackle. Crows get a look first. Impey going back, but himself in harm's way.
Looking for a sign. You want a sign early? That is magnificent. Well protected too off the footy. Laird's the latest one to have a crack at Jai Newcomb. He's about number 5.
Impey brings it out to a contest. Weddle lines. He will release and thump it up the line. Shows his target. Beautifully weighted ball. Gunston wants it in the square. Can Keane get back? Gunston met front on. He's going to kick his 5th.
The passage of play just says everything about Hawthorn. Loose centre bounce. If he goes back with the flight, doesn't flinch once. Then you get Worrell, who just gets better and better as the game wears on. And then the kicking. Superb.
There's nothing in that free kick. Absolutely nothing.
Did you make front-on contact?
The contact is so minimal. Yeah. He'd already dropped the mark.
Doesn't need to be much once you turn your back on the footy like that. He got out the back and did what he's done for his whole career. Timed it beautifully.
He's furthering his claims as a modern-day great tonight. Jack Gunston with 5. The Hawks by 36 points. And the weight of the world sitting on the locals.
I don't know whether we're going to go back to this mark that Xiaomi Mi takes, but it speaks volumes about where Hawthorn are at. Not only does it talk about the courage, but the support and the protection. And then this next part's not to be underestimated. This bloke just keeps going and going. So it's Weddle and Worrell playing on each other. What about this kick? That is one of the great kicks of the game, to find it maybe a child. He just goes because he's got out the back. Timed he's run out the back. And Jack Gunston, we just run out of superlatives, my friend. This is just a 5-goal game in a big semi-final.
I reckon they put Weddle on Worrell just to try and calm Worrell's influence. So Worrell, a bit like Keane, likes to zone off a little bit, but we saw what Weddle can do when you let him go high in a contest, so he might just have to play him tighter.
That's a stack too, isn't it? 70 goals. The first for the Hawks is Jared Ruffhead in 2014. He wasn't even in the team at the start of the year. He's been pivotal to so much. Warple jars it out. Newcomb strokes it forward. Weddle.
It's a long kick. Players will encourage him to go back and have a think about it.
Adelaide on the brink here.
He did this last year, last week, He just went forward. They love him forward late in the game because he doesn't get any smaller.
Oh, he had a good lead from Marbior Chol.
Looks like he was going to pass it off, but in the end,
he got the distance easy. That's gone over the fence.
It was a shank.
A long shank.
A long shank.
Long faces.
Oh, that's the face of a man that is just seeing
long summer ahead.
Golden opportunity slip between their fingers.
You've got to give a yelp in this final term. Empty again, though.
Well, he's marking over Dan Curtin. It doesn't look like a Gerard. How good.
One of the most Olympics that's from a final series in recent memory. Up to the hot spot for Hawks to have a jump at. Ginnivan almost pulled that in. Okay, King through that. Waddle got caught with it. Smith. She got away with one there.
Another pro throw.
The question that we asked last week, the fact that they failed the finals test.
Oh, come now. That doesn't even vaguely resemble a hand pass.
Well, the umpire must have thought he didn't actually take possession. It's just a tap.
They're failing again here. And before our eyes against a team that's doing anything but failing.
More drag down. Warple held it.
And the more come nows we can get into the commentary, the better.
Well, they'll be coming now for tickets for the preliminary final next week, that's for sure.
That's what it looks like.
This suits Hawthorn perfectly. They want the ball played in their forward half. Just lock it in, repeat stoppage, make it really difficult for Adelaide to transition the ball.
Smith, Warple.
So, and Jared made a good point. You want to see at least a shot from them and see them try and change the way they play. Because the way they played last week got them 8 goals. The way they played this week's got them 7. Now that just, I don't want to keep repeating it. That's nowhere near going to get the job done. Do something different.
Dawson sends it skyward. Fogarty looked under it by Sicily, but held his line. Touched the mark. Kicks down the line. That's a lot of Saligo against Barris. He did well to nullify. And now Peatling forcing it forward to Laird, who's kicked in on the bounce. It skids away from Rochelle. Something to smile about. Remember that face in happier times. Josh Rochelle is back. And there is still time.
What did it look like though, Hutto?
That's his soccer background.
But what did the whole passage of play look like? It went from deep in defence forward because they got some heat on the footy. They got some speed on the ball.
Yeah, it took one contested mark though, didn't it? It was Fogarty who was able to outmark Sicily and then move the ball quickly.
So therein lies the message here. Go. Yep. Go and don't wait. Because if you wait, you're going to exit. It was a good finish.
It was. Yeah. Well, he set one up, one of the goals of the year, didn't he, early against the Sydney Swans. His soccer skills, and he's the finisher this time. Is he the starter for the Crows?
Whenever they have probed, Hawthorn have come up with the next goal.
Yeah.
It was the tail of the third term. What happens now? Meat knocked it forward. Neil Bullen kicked it straight into the skipper. We will have felt that. Nash works it on. Ginnivan's been quiet. Away to Giap. Artful turn. Warple. We're all standing in front. Stolen. And Watson will have his way. No.
Shanked it.
One of his easier ones.
Yes. You put that down any day of the week.
He's kicked 2-4 for the night. The kick too heavy. Crash into Nash. Play on the call. Taylor's ball now.
That's all right, though, Hunter. Yeah. That's what we're talking about. Go down the middle. Don't go around the boundary line. Go down the middle, take a risk, and risk losing by 10 goals, but give yourself a chance. They haven't been anywhere near aggressive enough for the way they've used the footy.
Zach Taylor. The most talked about Zach in footy this week, but comes away for the Crows. Margin 32 as it stands. Sicily will fly unencumbered, drop the mark. Bounced off his chest. Berry closing on through, despite the tackle from Impey. Thilthorpe, courage from D'Ambrosio, steadiness from Barris. We've got clouded high there, but the umpire waves them on.
Massimo has thrown himself into the wake of big Riley Thilthorpe.
James Sisley just slapping his hands. Nearly dropped should have been a regulation intercept mark.
Sam Mitchell not sitting comfortably in the box just yet.
They can't go to sleep, Hunter. They've got to keep the pressure up, keep trying to score.
Premiership captain, with designs on becoming a premiership coach of his own club. It's a rarity in modern football. Win tonight and they're into the preliminary final against the team he led them against in 2008 as a player, the captain. Warple to half forward. Again, Murray. Again, Worrell. Through Michael Lanning to Smith. But the Hawks are not letting them out of there easily.
Tackling's been superb. Just another facet. All facets have been ticked. Every box.
McDonald. There's one last tick. Into the pocket. Oh, he's coming again. Gunston. That time King was actually ready to compete. Back it goes to Nash. It couldn't get to the square. No, it doesn't.
Back to the 9. Outside 5. Even when you change the matchup with Keane on Gunston, just to change something and just say to Mark Keane, get going. Just go and try and create something from the back half.
Michael Annie is searching for Thilthorpe. Barris.
That is a pack mark. Good call, Jerry. There's 4 or 5 big men going at that. And he comes down against Thilthorpe and the 2 ruckmen.
It's about to be 54 inside 50s to 35 as Barris sets it up for the marking targets. Worrell was set. Weddle toppled into him. Smith dragged off it. Fed up and lost. Weddle tried to find the passage through. Oh, he's got high contact.
Boy, I thought he was gone cold there.
He was gone for a month.
Yep.
No problem about that. We'll wait for the replay.
Yeah, umpire said the first one was high. Crowd don't like it. Oh, no. He's ducking down. He's reaching out with an arm.
His back shoulder,
Yeah, can't pay that. Can't pay that.
The
question is, can Weddle take advantage of it? It's a big kick.
Been a dud one both ways now. Opening term, Peatling with the goal. Josh Weddle.
They don't want to miss too many opportunities like that. Get a chance to put them away. You've got to put them away.
What fans will remember post here at the Adelaide Oval 12 months ago. Obviously different situation. It leaks through to the wing, but no further. Newcombe, Sicily, Eamon, Ginnivan. Pass it over the line. Little security guard. Look at those Hawks fans. You can feel how close they are now. Crowd of in excess of 50, in fact 52,005. Similar numbers to those that were here first week of the finals. Jaff couldn't get out the other side, does not survive the tackle intact. Neil Bullen into the middle, trying to connect with the captain and look to the umpire for a free. It wasn't there for Dawson. Instead it's Battle to McDonald, to Amon, to half forward. Beautiful kick to Weddle again.
Oh, he's a player, this bloke. And look, Neil Bullen
tries the little pop pass. That works. It's not 50 for Button.
Neil Bullen took the corridor, which we've been encouraging to do, but this is where you've got to give credit to Hawthorn. They have been awake and aware to everything that Adelaide have tried, and they've been superior to Adelaide in everything that they've tried.
What about Weddle tonight, last week, what he could do in the next 2 weeks?
He's a phenomenal athlete. 2 big solid games under his belt.
Sam Butler, whose brother won a premiership for Richmond against the Adelaide Crows. Unlikely as it seemed only a couple of weeks ago. He could be on the way to a preliminary final. He's kicked 2. But Butler's done it. And maybe the Hawks have as well. 39 points. The margin is expanding. The clock is contracting. And the Hawkers are very, very happy indeed.
Don't underestimate Sam Butler's impact, guys.
Yeah.
He's had 13 possessions, kicked 2 goals. He's also had 9 tackles.
Wow.
The defensive pressure that he has put on has been absolutely first-class. 5 score involvements to go with it.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's played his best footy at the very, very best time.
Yep.
He looks like he's got an appointment at the MCG in a week's time. And this Hawthorn crowd that have travelled, they travelled to Sydney, they've travelled to Adelaide, they've found their voice, they've been magnificent, and their playing group have reciprocated in kind.
They're hitting the aisles. Those in the other colours. Laird in the middle. Works a set of clearance through Smith. Puts it up for Fogarty to have a jump at, but Scrimshaw just planted himself.
They have dominated this Adelaide forward. This vaunted Adelaide forward line have been dominated by the defence of Hawthorn.
Sicily uses Hardwick.
It's the second week in a row, Jared. Well, they've been great all year, but gee, the final campaign, the Hawthorn defence have been magnificent.
He could carry them a long way to a big pack. No Mark Michaelini. Ground ball has to be won. Took it the way of Laird. Released it. Came turnover. Scrimshaw. He wanted to open up some run. Amon sliced his kick. Smith's probably got first access, got a devil of a bounce. And then a second. Smith was able to knock it to Worrell. Found his way through and found a target in Rashad.
Food. Waste no time, but he's invited Jack to fight. Contest from Keys, Ward. The Hawks are going again. Nash moving forward. Down to Weddle. And he couldn't cross Murray that time.
It's the last place he wanted that ball kicked. He kept pointing into the pocket. And Nash just couldn't hit him.
Fine line.
The umpire was right there. He didn't want to call it.
No, he didn't. Taylor just plays on running the angles as he kicks it back into play rather limping. Amon covered in the middle again. Newcomb. Weddle is deep. Tass running down to provide another target. Cummings to stride away. Can he hit one in the middle? Just continuously trying to find a man through the middle.
Oh, Walker's out the back.
Yeah, he's waiting for an eternity, but they're not going to get it to him. Disrupted again. Now the Hawks are ready for the punishment. Will it be maximum punishment? Watson plays it into McDonald.
He calmly puts his hand up, says take time off the clock. Now he's going to buzz it. This will take more time off the clock. Taylor Walker had 40 metres on the nearest Hawthorn player, heading back towards goal. No one actually looked forward and thought a long kick of any sort is the goal to Adelaide.
Yeah, so they changed the way, they tried to change the way they played this last quarter, but too late. Like it was, the damage is done. Hawthorn then prey on every single ball that comes through the middle of the ground. They flip it on its head, and if this goes through, that Hawthorn group behind the goals are going to go bunker.
He's the man that really started it all out of the middle, wearing a famous Hawthorn number to seal a famous Hawthorn finals victory. Preliminary final. Here they come.
And how fitting it is that Jai Newcomb, the man that is just making finals his own, puts the nail in the coffin.
I'll run through some numbers for you guys. 27 touches. He's had 15 contested possessions, 8 clearances, 6 centre bounce clearances, 9 score involvements and a goal.
They're leading Adelaide by 45 points, Jason, coming into this game. You couldn't split the two teams, and now we're going to walk away saying that Hawthorn are going to serve it up to Geelong, and the Adelaide Crows are going out of the final series with their tail well and truly between their legs. It has been a brilliant exhibition from the Hawthorn team, and that man, Jai Newcomb, started the whole damn thing.
The ton on the board for the Hawks. Their fans utterly jubilant. Warple's after it again in the middle, and he's put it onto the chest of Watson.
They want more.
Weddle's the deep target. Just going to stay shallow for the moment.
Been good this bloke too. We haven't spoken about Ward much.
27th disposal. What line call?
What line call? Umpire says.
O'Brien always knocked it straight into Jaff, who finds the way around Wards. Moore searching for a target, decides to give Chol a jump. King claims and is paid the mark. Slow down to Laird, not great to Millerer. Wards getting tight. Worrell does find the target on the way out for a bit of breathing space. Taylor, Dawson looks down the wing rather than into the middle. And they have been having no joy, but it's the same result regardless. Sicily.
Oh, he's paid a shepherd. He's paid a shepherd because Hardwick ran across the line of his opponent.
Keys plays the forward handball. Dawson has to retreat, at least partially. Just jogging up and down on the spot. Peatling, it just sums it up, doesn't it? Oh, there he is. Peatling was the target. Newcomb floats across. There's nothing he can't do on a night like this.
Might not surprise you. He's the highest rated player on the ground.
Making a play for the Gary Ayres medal. I wonder where he is at the GVPs. Coming late.
Both winning coaches to join us on 360 as well, Jared. And I tell you what, Sam Mitchell will come in every day if they keep playing like this.
What a tantalising prospect it will be. What a preliminary final weekend it will be. That's all ahead of us. Warple, Murray and Weddle. Weddle takes off. He can break lines. Just didn't get the finish it deserved.
He had Connor McDonald in the corridor. He should have passed it. He was thinking icing on the cake.
It was glory ball there, wasn't it?
It really was.
Yeah, I mean, a sign your team's going really well. You go through this Hawthorn team and think of all the players who are playing as probably nearly career best footy. It's just coming together beautifully. And that's going to hold them in great stead next week.
And with an incisive kick into the middle for Keane. Oh, the hand pass knocked down by Watson. And it does become a turnover. Moore to Chol and back to Watson. Out wide to Jaff with a look away. Just pulls out, gets support from Moore on the wraparounds. And now Moore pins the ears back forward. Oh, no, couldn't hang on. In the spot and Weddle, it's a high tackle.
Could have kicked about 5 goals, Weddle.
Yep. The irony is Moore did the right thing for Weddle, and Weddle didn't do, and Weddle dropped it.
Jack Gunston down there just came up the race, down there with the doctor, so just sitting on the bench now. If I was Hawthorn, I'll just keep him on the bench.
Yep.
Meek keeps it in their front half. D'Ambrosio, Ward overwhelmed. D'Ambrosio again. Phil Thorpe trying his best, but he's tackling like his beard a little wild. Free kick is going to D'Ambrosio.
Poor Massimo D'Ambrosio. Has had a nice night, although he's kicking, which is normally his strong suit. 17%.
He missed an important shot late in that round 21 clash. He doesn't have those worries here. It's a 46-point lead for the ex-Bomber. As the Adelaide fans start to shuffle out, the Hawks are in full voice. High to the square. Taff made the fly. Oh, Butler's going to kick a third, is he? No. Fall short King.
In the last quarter here where we thought that there might be something, that they might fire a shot, it's 15-4 inside 50s to Hawthorn.
Miller plays it out to Walker. Impey ran back. Still in dispute. Keys worked over by Walker, unfair. Stuck a rock bottom. Pickler didn't like it at all.
It's a free kick. Here. Your kick, Keys. Benny. Back here.
Just to go back on the right line.
This Hawthorn defensive group aren't that keen to give up anything. Not even a kick or a mark. That's their attitude and mindset.
Dawson. Contest inside the 50. All fly. Hillthorpe looked around the Peatling, probing for Rochelle. Hardwick just kept him off it. Rochelle, though, wouldn't be denied. He's kicked his second. He's paid his way as the self.
Yes. Well, they brought him on. No Isaac Rankin tonight.
the way this game has played out, even Rankin would have made the difference between the two teams. And that's all you could have hoped for at the start of the night. If you had said that Josh Shelley had come on somewhere around half-time and kicked 2 goals, you wouldn't take that all day long. It's just that the rest of the group haven't fired with him. They've managed 9 for a game, on the back of 8 last week. It's been a lamentable final series for the Adelaide Crows all round, and the introspection will be deep and painful.
I'm not sure where he goes as a player, positionally speaking, guys, but you can't deny his goal sense. It's as good as anyone in the game.
Yep, he wants next year set himself for 40-plus goals with the occasional foray into the middle. That's what he'll be.
Worked so hard, all the rehab for 10 weeks to get back for a half of football. He'll have to recalibrate and go again. Warple, high ball. Watson tried to reach up, not much left in the tank for too many of them. Miller, certainly not their worst. Saligo with a juggling act on the wing, and the instant handball to Laird, who's been a warrior. Back to Saligo. Can they put a play together? Taylor Walker, ponder about his future. He ran the wrong way there. Couldn't take the corner. Scrimshaw, Sicily. No real rush for the Hawks. Scrimshaw comes away. They're taking gully catches late.
You know, in finals and final series, defences have dominated. This back six for Hawthorn is in great form. They present a challenge for a Geelong team who are as good as any in the front half. It's just tantalising now. We can start to get our head around it.
Lost it down the line. Delivered from Michael Annie. Shortness of hands. Wasn't there, you'd have to say, in the first half for the Crows. Plays it back. Legging it out of there, coming with a couple of bounces. Confident kick to half back to Taylor. So they've looked at some good system. Worrell, he is having his 31st disposal, would you believe?
Yeah, he's been their best, Josh Worrell.
32nd. And then the kick, quick to Fogarty, didn't quite make it. Jaff, they're still doing all the hard things they need to. We'll have a ball. I guess stung as a result is if ever there was a season where 8th was going to beat first, it'd be this one.
Phil Thorpe works it around to Keys. A hand pass out to Curtin. And now it's Dawson who's to this short. And Sicily with another intercept mark. Time to bask in some applause from the Hawks fans. Just to get it out of there in a hurry. Each against Phil Thorpe. Got a boundary sign, but not outs. Between the two of them, they kept it alive. Hardwick works it up the line. Cho will use the body to clear the way. Goes back for the footy. He does have runners inboard, so he feeds it there for Nash. Nash tried to get the hand pass to Moore, who was hot.
Fair bench. Gunston with 5, Newcomb with everything. Impey's been magnificent. Jack, probably only one of the 4 that hasn't quite had the night that he would have hoped for, but it wouldn't matter.
He's never really quiet, but his footy's been quiet.
Yes, tonight, yeah.
Nash guided it forward. King tried to repel. The soccer plays. Wards, D'Ambrosio, back to Wards. Put some fluency back into it. Butler didn't give it to the D'Ambrosio, which looked on. Amon instead.
Play on.
Second guesses himself. Mid-ball drop. That probably cost him what he was after as Smith takes the inside.
Roddy Smith. To Fogarty. Dawson still running for him. Extra run. Comes from behind. Flat out. Michael Annie, the half forward. Paris, in his awkward fashion, still found a way to get fist to football. Curtin, confronted by Jaff. So back to Dawson again. His 21st disposal coming up, but not with the damage we associate with the Adelaide captain. Here's a late fly from Phil Thorpe. No mark. Ward battering it out of there. Rochelle, he's still determined and desperate. With his hands on the footy. He'll have a ball up. Minute 18 left in this one. Precious Cargo's on the bench. Jack Gunston, an astonishing performance. As we've said all year, 70-goal season. Watson can't mark. McDonald, Jaff, he's still full of run and bounce to half forward. Worrell and Weddle, wonderful to watch. Michael Annie back into Smith, and they look to start again. Neil Bullen. Things open up through the middle. Is there a consolation goal on here for the Adelaide Crows? Neil Bullen's kick is deep. Phil Thorpe, no, can't take the mark. Maybe it's Saligo. Had to wait and wait and wait. And finally, a goal is landed. Unfortunately, it means very little.
Some tight players out there now. There was space everywhere out on the ground. They just had to work their way through it. Adelaide, they had plenty of loose numbers. In the end, Saligo able to get the goal as Sam Mitchell heads down to the bench on a night it's been for the Hawthorn Brains Trust, for the playing group. It's been a spectacular performance. Back-to-back away finals wins. There's no mean feat.
They played 3 in a row on the road, and now it's back to the MCG for as long as it lasts. Potentially for 2. And Benro Warriors beaming with pride, the coach. 12 months on from a bit of disappointment at this ground. Time enough to take it all in. Centre clearance up for grabs. Taylor's after it. Didn't give to Laird. Instead, kicks up inside the 50. Hardwick makes the telling spoil. Goes the fist right through it. Battle knocks it to D'Ambrosio. Kicks up the line for Chol to lead up. Couldn't take the mark. Keane feeds to Laird.
Another throw from Mark Keane. Yeah. He's got to learn how to handle it. He just tosses it at every opportunity.
The last of the seconds to save that for the Hawthorn fans who have made the trip. The players who have lived the rebuilds. And for Sam Mitchell, who's masterminded it all. The Hawks go on with a head full of steam. They conquer Adelaide Oval, and now it's to a blockbuster preliminary final against Geelong. Talk about ancient grudge. The Crows are out in straight sets. The indignity to be the first minor premier in 42 years to suffer that fate.
Big win for the Hawks to come over here 6 weeks after they lost a very tight match here, but to be able to come and win a second week away in finals football, it's a heck of an effort, and they had a really good input across the board. It was Jai Newcomb that got them off to a flyer, but then everyone contributed. Jack Gunston just continues to turn the clock back. His performance is extraordinary as we head down on ground.
And that was an amazing start.
Yeah, it's always nice to come over here and get away to a start like that, and sort of get the crowd a little bit quieter for a little bit and be able to control things. Thought we were able to sort of dictate the whole way through the game, which was great.
You sure did. You had it on the string though in that first quarter. 5 centre bounce clearances and 6 clearances in that first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, it was important for us to start well. It was nice that it was falling in my lap to start the game, and I think tonight as a midfield we were elite. We sort of controlled that area all night, and yeah, credit to the boys.
Jack Gunston's still going all right. Another 5 tonight, 70 for the year.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to stop either. It's been very impressive this year to see what he's been able to achieve, and our forward line's been huge, and he's been a massive part of it.
When Will Day got injured back here in Adelaide, I thought, don't know if Hawthorn can do it. What happened after that point? Everyone stood up and played some really good footy.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, it spreads to a team game, and we're not relying on one guy, although we'd love to have him out there. It's a team game in the midfield, and we've been super amongst each other all year.
You played in the prelim yet? You're about to next week?
Yeah, first time. Here we go.
All right, get excited, mate. They're going to be a big one.
Thank you.
Tell you what, he's building one heck of a finals resume. Jai Newcomb, every time he steps out in finals footy, he dominates. He puts his best foot forward. He was exceptional. He was the catalyst that lit up the Hawks tonight. Quiet in the second term, and then a very consistent second half. He was best man of field for mine. But they had great contributions right across the board. You can see the excitement, the jubilation. They know the effort that it took to come here and get the chocolates.
Yeah, it is a stunning performance, both from Newcomb and all those, as you mentioned, and as Roo mentioned, without Day in the middle, who was he was a star when they last met here, but He's carried a big load, but all those around him, like Josh Ward and Warple, have done their jobs as well.
I thought Ward was good tonight. He was fantastic. So you can see the qualifying final was Adelaide Crows losing. So Hawks come through that elimination final against the Giants. Then they get the Crows in the semi-final and now into the prelim against the Cats. And what a game that's going to be. Mark Michelle just mentioned 70 goals for Jack Gunston. Hasn't that snuck up on us?
Yeah, amazing. Jack Gunston, his Indian summer continues. The Cats await, full of their own stars, their own flair. And what history there is between those two teams.
This is a great rivalry.
The rivalry, each and every Easter Monday or thereabouts. They've had some amazing clashes over the journey. The Kennett curse, of course.
Don't remind
me. And as every
me.
Hawthorn fan reminds me, in knockout games, in knockout finals, Geelong has not beaten Hawthorn since the 1963 grand final. So that is something to overcome.
Something hadn't happened since 1983 tonight, and it happened, Dado. So it's a season of firsts, isn't it?
Yeah, but it is going to be one heck of a weekend, the preliminary final. We, of course, await Collingwood's opponents. And the Adelaide Crows leave the Adelaide Oval for the last time in season 2025, a home and away season where they achieved so much. 18 wins, minor premiers, and unfortunately the final series with nothing to show, not a quarter one.
It's almost like they got there too quick, Hunter. The meteoric rise from the foot of the table to then finish on top and get the double chance, but just weren't able to get it done.
Brody Smith, yeah, he is taking a long time to leave, so you can only suspect that that might be it.
And he's been a fantastic player for this footy club, Brody Smith.
Missed the grand final, an injury in 2017. This was to be his last chance. And unfortunately, that now has passed, so congratulations to him on a marvellous career.
So it's an opportunity lost for the Crows, but now they've had a taste. Now you know what's required to take that next step once you get to September. I'm sure they'll bounce back big time next season. They'll be in it again.
And look at the Hawks faithful in their various clubs.
Geez, they did travel, hello. There is a lot of brown and gold here.
This is a club with so much success this time of the year. And they are lapping it up. They just want more and more and more. Back for a preliminary final for the first time since their premiership three-peat.
This is the joy of barracking for a football club. I know when you get to go on interstate trips, finals against formidable opponents, and you come away with the win.
They've been so success-starved, haven't they, Jace?
Don't you start. But look, I love seeing the players interacting with the fans because they feed off them. You need that support. You don't want to come to a place that is just horribly against you. But there were huge bays of support from the Hawthorn fans tonight.
And it makes a difference, doesn't it? Like in a home and away game, you don't get this. You just don't get the Hawks to travel as much as this in such size. But we know it's an all-staff thing, isn't it? It's an all-club win when you win on the road. So they're all joining in the celebrations. Conor McDonald's old man will be in there. He hasn't missed a game in 89 games, and he'll be full of voice, no doubt, as he was last week. Into the final four. Well, they were close, though, percentage off from being top four. So.
Well, and they had that game in Brisbane. If they were good enough to win it, they would have finished top four.
So it's not absolutely a shock, is it, that Hawthorn would make the top four, but it's where they've had to do it for.
I suspect it'll be a happy place down in the red zone.
I think it will. That's where the road leads us by Jordan Lewis, the ex-Hawk champ, and Gary Lyon.
Indeed, Anthony, the victorious Hawthorn team have come through. They're into a preliminary final. And they've got a massive audience here as well. Jordan Lewis got a bigger clap than James Sicily on the way through, Geordie, but this is a big moment for this football club.
Well, they got here early. The support, the family and the friends got in here early because this will be sung with gusto. Fantastic effort. Great man, David Hale.
Great scenes. They've gone one better than they have last year. They've been to a preliminary final. And I think stand by. This is going to be something pretty special.
Hawks indeed. They've got an appointment with the Geelong Football Club for a spot in the 2025 AFL Grand Final. They're going to do it from 8th, Jordan Lewis. Sam Mitchell embraced the notion when the final 8 was settled after the final home and away game, and they've been so impressive in their 2 winning finals.
Oh, it's a big step in the right direction. We only have to go back 12 months and the heartache that they had this very night against Port Adelaide. So they've matured. It was an amazing game. They set it up right from the start, and when they were challenged, they altered their game style. So it was a good win.
Nick Watson's joined us, the little dynamo here. It looks like he's made for finals 47 goals in 2 finals games last year, and he's picked up where he left off. How's this feeling?
Oh, that was the best feeling ever, to be honest. We've had a few games up here where we've lost a few, so we were like, we're not walking out of Adelaide losing again. So what a feeling and what a win.
Can you believe that start? John Newcombe said, listen, just get out of the road. I'll keep whacking it down from a centre bounce. He had 3 on the board in the space of 2 minutes, I reckon.
Yeah, Newcombe, Mr. September, I reckon. He's just a big bull in there. It's always good getting a handy start like that, and they've just got to keep it rolling. And, yeah, as I said, the boys fought hard, and we had a very good win.
You're right. I mean, your thoughts this time last year, you go down by a couple of points to Port Adelaide, yet to come over here and really be in control from the start. That must be pleasing.
Yeah, definitely. We've had a few games against Adelaide this year, which actually helps. So we studied them hard through the weekend. Obviously, coming off a good win last week, we had a bit of momentum. And then, yeah, the boys fought hard from the start, and unbelievable group. And, yeah, what a win, really.
Take us into quarter time, if you can remember back. It looked like
pushing it.
Oh, no. I'll try and remind you. The first quarter was really fast. They were really springing off half back. Then it looked like you guys slowed the ball down a little bit. Was that sort of the way that you wanted the game after quarter time?
Yeah, definitely. Adelaide are a really good side, and we knew they were going to have their stages where they come. So we didn't want to go foot on the throttle the whole time. So we just wanted to control the game and have it on our terms. And that second quarter we sort of did that. But yeah, we knew Adelaide were going to come. They're a good side. They finished top for a reason. So credit to them.
Realise players can play a whole career, Nick, and not get a look at September. And here you are, about to play in a preliminary final in your second year.
Yeah, I know, pretty lucky. I've come at the right time, I reckon. We've got such a special group building. We're all so young. We all are very tight as a group. So, yeah, we got something special building, I reckon.
Tell me about this behind us. I'm sure the camera can have a look around.
Yeah.
I mean, the feeling and the atmosphere. I was up at the GWS Engie Stadium last week. It's clear that there was a massive contingent of travelling fans and family and loved ones. I mean, it was the family club when Geordie was running around the number 3, and it still very much is.
Yeah, definitely. It's always the best feeling after a win coming into the rooms, come to see all the family. We have such a good crew every week, and without them, we don't have a good season. So all family, friends and everything, it's they're all in the ride together, and love to see it coming in the rooms, and they're all so loud and passionate. It's the best.
The old boy Jack Gunston just continued on his All-Australian form tonight.
Mate, he should be the GOAT, shouldn't he, mate?
It's unbelievable.
He just keeps getting better, and it helps our forward line. Like, as last year, he was coming in sort of a development, helping out Culture Deer players like that, and he just keeps getting better. And it's good to see him earn all lows and just sign another year as well, help us out. He's a star, and can't thank him enough.
That was the other impressive thing tonight, the front half pressure, the forward half turnovers, the scoring from front half. That was really on show tonight.
Yeah, that's our one wood, our front half pressure, trying to get a front half game, and when we get that, we have a good result normally. So that's our one wood, and especially finals footy. Finals footy is different brand, and if we get a front half game, it's we look like we should score and hopefully win, but who knows? But yeah, it's good.
What about the lead into the game? There was some attention around your good mate, Giddy.
Yeah.
We thought he wore Port Adelaide socks. Is that right?
Mate, I don't know what he ran. He just does what he does.
Does he run that by you? No.
No, he hasn't. We knew the airport was going to be coming, and we knew when he get off there, all the cameras would be surrounding him. So, he loves it. He enjoys it. He doesn't really care. He's all for it. It's all part of the game, and it's pretty funny. We just laugh about it, to be honest, all the cameras and stuff. It's what he brings to the game. It's good. It's good for character.
Hey, we're going to let you go, but growing up in Melbourne, playing for the Eastern Rangers, you loved your footy, I know that. You're about to play in a preliminary final at the MCG against the Geelong Footy Club in front of 90,000+. Does that get you going here?
Yeah, no, it's good. It'll be good to get back to the G and play in the finals. We played one there last year. We had 98,000. There's no better feeling. So Geelong are a very good side as well. So we'll get to work this week. But yeah, good to be back in Melbourne playing finals.
Can you beat them?
I'm not saying anything.
See, you've learned well.
I'm media trained.
Good on you,
I was thinking about it.
Good luck. Well done.
Thanks,
Nick Watson there as a star. She's a happy room down here. I'll tell you what, let's go to the desk with Gerard Waitley.
Gaz, so the Hawks by 34 points. Let's get first impressions. Jonathan Brown?
Yeah, they were impressive. They were clearly the best team most of the night. They started off with a bang, didn't they, with John Newcombe, 5 centre bounce clearance in that first quarter. And they really set up, and from that, they really just ran amok, didn't they? Especially after half time. I thought late in the second quarter they didn't maximise their opportunities, but I thought they showed the real Hawthorn that second half.
Yeah, they dominated the way that the transition game was played, and that's so much of modern football. 10 goals to 4, but 22 scoring shots to 7 from turnover. So that's how dominant their performance was. Too good in defence and too good in offence.
They belted them around contest,
didn't
they?
Well,
plus
all
31.
facets, all facets.
Mark Rashudo, just give us an Adelaide thought, and we'll delve deeper into both.
Oh, look, they're really disappointing. The last two games haven't gone to plan. Probably their worst two games for the season. So they've been a bit flat for about a month, and they'll be really disappointed with how it's finished up.
Straight sets, you're just as likely to go as not now. Let's head back to the Hawthorn rooms with Gaz.
Got you, Jared, at a second year. I can't quite work out what's going on at the moment. Little Nick Watson, he's trying to get his head around a preliminary final. Tommy Barras has seen it all before. Congratulations, mate. Your form's been outstanding. The decision to come to Hawthorn truly vindicated. A great night tonight.
Oh, thanks a lot. Firstly for having me, but what a magical performance by the boys. I just got to sit back and watch tonight. Some of the fellow defenders down there were incredible, but it all started with our midfield, so all credit goes to them.
What were you thinking the first 45 seconds?
Oh, mate, I was singing the same thing.
Move from the square.
Nah, I was singing the same thing I was singing last time we played here. We got off to a really hot start. 3 centre clearances in a row into goals, so all credit to those guys. And then obviously Adelaide, a quality side, they were always going to come back, and which they did, but all credit to our team for hanging on and hanging in there and sticking to our brand of footy.
You've been around a long time, and you just said off there the Adelaide Oval and the Adelaide crowd and the atmosphere tonight was electric.
Oh, it's a fantastic place to play footy. It was electric, and the Adelaide supporters always turn out and they're full, and the Hawks supporters managed to travel over. There was at least 3 or 4 sections in the crowd that were absolutely going off, so got to show our appreciation and support for all those that travelled. It was really magic.
Tell us about this back 6 or 7 or however many go through. You're in career best form, I think. Yourself and James and Josh Battle and Scrimshaw's been outstanding. Hardwick last week. I mean, it's a tight group that's playing as well as they have all year.
Yeah, look, we've taken a little bit of time to build some connection as a back 6 and playing in the back line. You really got to work together. You're not siloed down there, so you've got to learn how each individual plays and how we play as a collective. So I think as the years progress, we've just managed to build our form a little bit more, and I think as well, you've got to tip your hat to just the calibre of players. Like you mentioned, Blake Hardwick's just an absolute star. Sicily's a star. Impey's a star. Amon's a star. And then Scrimmer and myself just pick up the pieces where we can. So, and then that's leaving out all Australian Josh Battle. So I think we're just finding the way in which we work best together, and it's been a pleasure to slot into that back line. I'm really grateful.
The versatility and trust. We showed some stuff pre-game, and sometimes you're on the small, you're on tall. Josh is the same. It must be comfortable knowing that players can play on tall, smalls, wherever they're faced.
Yeah, I think we've got quite a good understanding of what we're going after collectively, and I think in the back line, especially deep in finals, you need to be a good contested player. So we've got the confidence in each other to get the contest done when the time's right, and a little wink and a nod if we're playing on each other's men.
Has it sunk in? You're off to a prelim final against CG, against the Cats?
It's just kicking in right now, but it's a pleasure and it's a privilege to be playing in these big games. Tonight was electric. It's only going to get better from here, and what a challenge to take on Geelong at the G.
And the capabilities, you're well placed to judge a team and their ability to go beyond even next week. I know you won't be looking that far, but how good is this group?
Oh, look, this group's filled with great footballers and great support staff, great coaches. It's a really quality football club. The learning environment's great. The education's really good. Everyone's clear on their roles, and I think we're really set a nice platform to give finals footy a good tilt for the next 5 or 6 years, and that's all you can do. You got to rock up, strap your boots on, and try your best, and we'll certainly be doing that next week.
Good decision to come over here and put on this brown and gold jumper.
Oh, absolutely. It's a really hard decision for me. I have a lot of love for the West Coast Eagles Footy Club. They gave me my start in the AFL, but the time was right for me personally to pursue another career move, and I'm so grateful because of what I've learned about football and team environments again, but also what I've learned about myself and the experiences that I've been able to provide for my family. So I'm really grateful, firstly, to West Coast, but also to the Hawthorn Footy Club for throwing me a lifeline at a time in my career where I was really out of juice.
Great chat. Well done. Good luck next week.
Thanks a lot.
Well done. Tommy Barris joining us, Jared. As I said, it's a happy team at Hawthorn down here.
So many stories, no wonder players want to go there. Tonight's number one, thanks to Ford Ranger, was Giant Newcomb. He had that locked away so early. His body of work tonight. He'd already had 8 votes in the Gary Ayres medal. He's surely going to add 10. 28 disposals, 16 contested, 10 score involvements, a goal himself, 8 clearances, 6 out of the centre and 6 inside 50s.
When you're on the road, you want to get off to a good start, don't you? And winning centre bounce clearances in Adelaide is the real key, because it gives your forwards first use of the ball. It doesn't let the defenders get set up behind the ball as well. And they just got off to the best start possible, maybe one of the best starts ever in Adelaide Oval at in any game, let alone a big final. And if Adelaide got off to a good start tonight, their supporters would have got right on their back after a loss last week. But Hawthorn doing what they did early and off the back of Newcomb centre bounce clearances just kept the crowd quiet.
He's just he's so clean with everything that he does. Ground ball, handball left and right to be able to find time and space and buffer opposition pressure. His kicking's elite. He finished with the goal there, which was a brilliant kick. As soon as it came off the boot, he knew it was going through. Intercept mark late in the game. There's not much he can't do, and have a look at that. To be able to, that's 4 finals in a row. The 4 finals that Hawthorn have been involved in the last 12 months, and they've been able to come back here when they fell short against Port Adelaide at the same venue 12 months ago. They've been able to take a step further, and given the expectations they've carried through this season, it's a huge effort so far with more to come.
He'll be clearly the greatest finals player of all time if he continues that trend.
You reckon?
Pretty safely.
You reckon?
Pretty safely, Jared. It's a big prediction, I know.
Probably has to win 4 Norman Smiths. But what a body of work he is putting together. Connor Builders with Gaz and Geordie.
He is indeed, Connor. Well done. Preliminary final awaits. How's that sit with you?
Oh, unbelievable. I think this time last year we were licking our wounds and crying on the way home after we lost. So we wanted to flip the script, and we did that, and we're off to a prelim, so can't beat it.
So when you take our minds back only a couple of weeks, there's no guarantee you're going to play finals at all. But the good judges, Jared's one of them, and others suspected that if you got there and you got through, you're going to be the dangerous floater in the bottom half, and that's proved to be the case.
Yeah, definitely. It was a bloody tight ladder this year, and we were 1% off making top 4. So to make the 8 was awesome, and we're fully confident in our game plan, and you saw it tonight. It stacks up, and we came here and we got the job done.
That was the one thing that really stood out the front half game. I mean, the turnover game is always important. It looked like you were struggling in the first quarter to move the ball from back half, but once quarter time came and went, it looked like that was on show.
Yeah, definitely. I think when you backfeed in finals footy, all the pressure is just straight at you, so you got to go forward, and once we got it forward, we were able to lock it in, and that's how all our scores came from.
The old boy Gunson just said, everyone just clear out and just give me the space.
Yeah, we call him Uncle. He's had an unbelievable year. Always pre-game, he's just locked in, laser focus, and he's probably going to do some special things. So, just another day for Gunners.
Where's the old man, mate? I haven't spotted him yet. Usually he's front and centre.
Yeah, usually he's something about he's hiding. I asked him to come over with me, but he's a bit too camera shy this week, got too excited last week.
Someone's had a word to him.
Yeah, I had to take his batteries out, so he's a bit too up and about.
Does he travel every game?
Yeah, I said during the week. I play, I think it's 88, 89 games, and he's never missed a game of mine. So
right?
He's been to every state. Followed me wherever. Is my biggest supporter, so I owe a lot to him.
Your form has been terrific since you started playing, but in particular this last month or so, it looks like you're at your absolute best, which I think is a thread through this whole group. I think there's a lot of Hawthorn players who are playing career best footy at the moment.
Yeah, I absolutely love finals footy. There's something special about it, and being able to compete in September is just an amazing thing. So. I'll just take my opportunities when they come, and it's pretty fun going out there playing with your best mates.
We've asked a few boys before you, as it's sunk in, you're off to a prelim final against Geelong at the MCG in front of 95,000 people for a chance to play in a grand final.
Yeah, I don't think it's hit us just yet. It's just pure emotion at the moment, but I think after we sort of overcome this, review this game, and then the build-up comes and we're back at the G, so we're so excited.
John Brown's watching, he's upstairs. We take a paternal interest in the forward line of every team. I'm not sure he's going to embrace you with the little rat tail thing at the back. Now, can you explain to Brownie what it is and why it's important that it stays?
Oh, I don't know. I think it was just a bit of fun 2 years ago. Just in the off season, I was like, oh, we'll try and run with it. I've seen a few rugby boys have it. I thought I'd change it up. It's got a bit of attention and people talk about it, give something better to talk about, and I've just kept it, but I'll probably get rid of it at the end of the year.
So good luck, Char, mate. Keep it into the prelim and see if you can't through to a grand final. Well done.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Well done. Connor McDonald. Brownie, you going to have one of those or not?
My son's got one. I've tried to cut it off. His mother's not happy about it at all. He came home with it plaited the other day. Almost as good as Connor's.
It's a Jedi braid, and he knows how to use the force.
The youngsters love it. Exactly right. Yeah, mate, I tell you what, if he keeps playing good footy like that, you'll keep it on, won't you? I reckon he's not shaving off before they get to a grand final.
Got a bit of colour in it too.
Yeah.
All right, so the full-time highlights, these are Jack Gunston, thanks to Menulog. He's kicked 5 goals too, and there's all sorts of great numbers associated with it, including cracking through 550.
Yeah, we're out of superlatives, aren't we? This year, we're just unbelievable. Even he's gone beyond his own expectations and beliefs, I suppose. He's just been a fantastic veteran all throughout his career, but a great finals performer. And when he gets his opportunities, he makes the most of them, Bucks.
We're at the ground, sort of looking at him off ball, the amount of work that he's putting into his leads. You know, Mark Keane was at 6s and 7s to look at defending him in any way, and dropped off far too often. It was a dominant performance against a fullback that looked overawed in that particular. I suppose the weight of ball that was coming down, but also with Gunston's guile and his timing of his leads. He was just.
I love his forward craft.
He's always been super smart, hasn't he? He's always been super smart. And when you win ball out of the middle and you're on an intercepting defender who gives you front spot, you're going to have a day out.
So let's dig a little bit deeper into the matchup you referenced. We've run the lab over full forward versus fullback and just how Gunston was able to work Keane over.
The problem is, not the problem. He's a leader. This. It reminds me a bit of Jack Rewell. Jack Rewell's amazing with his craft and his ability to lead. So Gunston's good leg speed, but at this stage of his career, leg speed's not the major strength of his, but he just knows how to keep behind Keane. So Keane needs to be able to watch the ball and his man at the same time. Gunston's not allowing him to do both. So obviously he can wrong foot in there. He knows to get the timing of the leads spot on, which allows makes it easier for his teammate to kick the ball to him, or certainly execute that kick. You just see here, just always moving, keeping Keane, not allowing Keane to relax and just set himself.
I mean, he's had an excellent year, and he's embarrassed a lot of really good defenders. I don't know. I mean, in the end, the coaching review will take place, but Mark Keane's is a great intercept defender. I don't know if he's the best deep defender. So
sure about that
I was surprised that Murray didn't go back to him a little earlier. He went back to him late, but that'll all be part of the review. But as you said, Roo, 64 inside 50s, it's coming down pretty quick.
Yeah, he looked like he did it a bit too easy tonight, didn't he?
So the post-mortems for Adelaide, it's an 18-win season. It's the rise from 15th to 1st. That's meritorious. But 2 home finals and they didn't win a single quarter. So it has a bitter aftertaste to it.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. It's been a bad ending, and it's been a pretty average month, really, for Adelaide. They sort of struggled towards the end of the year against games against West Coast Eagles and North Melbourne. And the 2 finals, I think a lot of people were hoping that the week off would have freshened up and got back somewhere near their best. But
that bloke, losing that bloke hasn't helped.
No, that was a sort of defining moment probably in the season, really, wasn't it? So, yeah,
to throw the club out of whack, what happened there? I don't want to dig too deeply into it, but it's a huge loss. He's arguably your best player, or certainly your most impactful player.
Yeah, it was a tough week. There was lots of different thoughts going through everyone's minds at the time, and they didn't play good footy afterwards. So whether that was the key part or not, I don't know. I think it might have been coincidence because they were playing a little bit average before that, but certainly didn't help. That's for sure.
It may be coincidental, but the ecosystem of a locker room, let alone a football club, is it's finely tuned. So I've got no doubt that something like that, it doesn't just impact Isaac Rankin or on the X's and O's with the flow down effect of matchups in a forward line. But it does impact on the connection with your teammates, and some of them would have been disappointed with him, with Isaac, and some of them would have been disappointed for him. And then all of that together, it just wasn't long enough to be able to reconcile it, to be able to regather and to go back and be able to present as your authentic best self as a team, and that was evident in the last two matches in particular.
I've got me doubts about the strength of the midfield. So Rankin, especially when he wasn't there, Dawson, when he's held below his best.
Still dangerous at times tonight.
Oh, yeah, he did, but he needed to be flying. So Cumming, Peatling, Berry, Saligo, these guys well beaten tonight by Ward, Newcombe. You only need to watch the first 10 minutes of the game to show the difference. Now, Newcombe was amazing, but the other mids for Hawthorn were very good as well. I just think if Adelaide are going to go all the way to the top, they need to improve their midfield. I'm not too surely that they'd be talking to players in the off-season. I'm sure they would be. But for me, that would be a concern as to how far they can climb with that midfield.
And then the offence, which had been feared at various times during the year, was 7 goals and 10 goals in 2 finals. Taylor Walker obviously has a decision to make. Fogarty didn't have an impact in the final series. It was sort of Thilthorpe or bust.
Yeah, it was. And I think the way the ball was coming down, they didn't help either. Against Collingwood, it was all over the shop. Whether it was their structure, whether it was Collingwood's positioning, or whether, just not winning enough clearances and getting the ball down there. So their conversion going inside 50 has been off the last few weeks as well. And it's been one of their strong points. And, Brownie, I agree that the midfield's got to get better. Their forward line and back line is good. We know that. Yeah. They've been one of the best defences all year.
I would say that's, if there's a weakness, I would say it's through the midfield.
Yep, and I think you could say the same about Hawthorn, but Hawthorn played at their best tonight, and Adelaide were a long way from it.
I think a user that can come off halfback would be important as well. Someone who can change angles and use it. I mean, Impey's just so important for Hawthorn, but Impey can do his damage because he's got Amon and Weddle there that comes back, and like so, the three of them together are where it's so dangerous. You can't. If you put a Wanganeen Miller in Adelaide side, he'd probably get tagged every week, and it'd be a little bit difficult. I mean, he'd help. He'd help anyone. But the reality is, I think that it's a shared trait across a group that can get it done, which is why Hawthorn look very damaging, and it's going to be fascinating viewing next couple of weeks.
Hawthorn are at their peak at the moment. They have, over the last few weeks, come from nowhere. I dead set thought after Day got injured when he played in Adelaide, I thought they can't win it without him, but somehow they've galvanised and they're playing great footy.
So Matty Nix has a bit to deal with, and still the Crows have to carry this burden into next year. Haven't won a final since 2017, and the toll of not being able to get one here means that whatever happens in the home and away, it sits there on them. So they play next season to find their right position, to establish their markers and to improve, but they'll have to saddle this into whatever final they walk into next year, is that they will.
But they have played it though. They have now experienced the cauldron of finals. Yes, it was in front of their home crowd. Yes, it was disappointing, but now they know what it feels like.
Yep.
And that will go back, I'm sure, as competitors, they will go back and spur them on throughout the pre-season. I actually think, win, lose or draw, they're going to be better for this experience next September. I've got no doubt about that, if they can get back there.
Well, if we look at their opposition tonight, as we said, they were able to win a final, but then they lost a close one here after being the best team at the back end of 24 for the last two-thirds of the year.
Yeah.
That they had to shoulder the burden of that expectation through the stages of this year. And they, for the most part, they handled it really well, even though they weren't quite meeting expectations for a lot of it because they were just too high. But then now they've gone past where they were last year, and they've come here more hardened, more ready, more experienced in terms of finals, and ready to take it on.
The Hawks by 34 points over the Crows here at Adelaide Oval. There's a lot to dissect in the aftermath, and we'll hear from both coaches as well. Tomorrow night, the second semi-final.
All right, folks, there we go. Game, set, match. Hawthorn getting the job done by 34 points here at Adelaide Oval, ending Adelaide's season. They can start their vacation now. Hawthorn now will start to prepare a course for Geelong at the MCG next week. Fantastic win, I tell you what. Hawthorn looked impressive. It's going to be a ring-a-ding-ding game next week. Certainly one we're looking forward to. Let's just recap the stats here. Jack Gunston ended up topping the table with 5 goals for the Hawks. Nick Watson with 2. Sam Butler with 2. Weddle ended up with a single. Newcombe Moore, McDonald, and Carl Lamont are singles for the Hawks. For the Adelaide Crows, Riley Thilthorpe, 3 goals for him. Rochelle with 2. Saligo, Pedler, Peatling, Keys and Fogarty all with 1. The disposal getter leading on the ground was Josh Roll from the Adelaide Crows, 33 touches. Josh Ward for the Hawks, 31. Rory led 30 for the Crows. They're the only 3 in the 30 today. There we go. Jai Newcomb, fantastic game from him, 28 touches. And then Miller for the Crows, 23. And it was just roll on down. We'll just show you the stats there. Thanks. Hey, thanks everyone for coming in. Don't forget, tomorrow evening, we've got the Brisbane Lions taking on the Gold Coast Suns. And of course, the winner of that game will go on to play Collingwood for a shot in the grand final, whoever wins that game. But of course, next week for the Hawks, they will play Geelong. And the winner of that game will get a spot in the grand final. 26 was the disposals plus the Hawthorn overall in the count. Inside forward 50s, only 43 to Adelaide, 64 to the Hawks. Tell you what, they had plenty of forward 50s, and of course they made the most of those very, very well. Free kicks, well, the home team, they got the advantage there, 24-18 plus 6 there. Stoppages, Hawks too good, 43-36. Clearances, 36-30 plus 6 to the Hawks, plus 4 out of the centre and plus 2 around the stoppages. Contested possessions, Hawks, well, they got right on top, didn't they? They were plus 31 overall for the game today. Turnovers pretty high for both teams, 77-63, plus 14 there to the Crows. The Crows did a little bit better at marking around the ground, 98-85, but the Hawks absolutely, well, yeah, they put a gap. They put a margin on the Crows for the marks inside forward, 56. Crows, 17 to the Hawks. They were just fantastic with their lead-up ball going into their forwards down there this evening. Looking at the tackle count, 56-50. Hawks will want to certainly lift their pressure for next week. They're coming up a good side in the Geelong Cats. 50s probably won't cut the mustard next week, so looking to extend that pressure for next week. But their forward 50 pressure was good, 15 tackles inside their forward 50 to the Crows 5. So there we go. That is tonight's game, folks. Of course, the Hawks putting on 3 goals, 4 in that final term. The Crows, 3 straight goals. Couldn't get the job done today. Look, Hawthorn with a better team all night. They were in control. They had Adelaide on the back foot the entire night. Adelaide never really looked like threatening Hawthorn at any part of this evening. Hawthorn were well in control. They were at the drop of the ball everywhere. They found space. They were like a good team, moved the ball quick, slowed the ball down when they needed to. And of course, that is going to put them in good stead for next week. So it should be a ring-a-ding-ding game next week. I believe that is at the MCG against Geelong. So that's going to be absolutely fantastic. As I said, don't forget, tomorrow night, 7:30, we'll kick that off. That's the Brisbane Lions taking on the Gold Coast Suns in the second semi up there in Brisbane. So it should be a good game. Who's going to be the King of Queensland? We'll certainly find out whether it'll be the Lions or the Suns tomorrow night. But there we go. We've only got 4 games left to go in the season 2025. The game tomorrow, the 2 games next week, and then, of course, the big dance, the grand final the week after. We're in for some fantastic footy over the next 2.5 weeks, folks. Don't forget, tune on in. Hey, thanks everyone for coming on in. Of course, we had the poll. It was actually 57% went for Adelaide tonight, so we got that one wrong. Hopefully we'll get the one right tomorrow night. It's going to be a fantastic, interesting game, though. That game up there in Brisbane. Right, thanks, Aaron. Thanks for coming in. Liam, good stuff. What a way to lose the Crows. Going out in straight sets. Yeah, I think they said that was the first time the top side has gone out in straight sets since about 1983. So it's been a long time. And, of course, Adelaide will be certainly feeling it right now, going out in straight sets, especially having 2 home finals after finishing the season off so strongly. They'll be bitterly disappointed with themselves, that is for sure. Of course, sold out crowd for 2 weeks running over there in Adelaide. The fans, well, they'll be left wondering, what have they got to do to win a final and get further down the track? Well, it was always next year with the Adelaide Crows fans. But for the Hawks, they got next week against the mighty Geelong Cats. All right, folks, that's all I've got for you this time around. So until tomorrow, thanks all for tuning in. Ciao for now. We'll see you at the next game.